Conditions too, low of 31 degrees, and for tomorrow, sunny and breezy conditions with a high near 57. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grand Ronde Hospital. Thank you for placing your health in our hands and giving us the opportunity to serve you.
Grand Ronde Hospital, big city medicine with a hometown touch.
Hi, this is Rudy Maxa. Join me along with Robert and Mary Carey each Saturday on this station as we talk to the travel newsmakers, share insights and tips, and experience the world together on America's #1 travel radio show.
Super Talk Radio is your home for Rudy Maxa's World with the Careys. Saturday afternoons, brought to you by Baker Garage on Washington in historic downtown Baker City and online at bakercitygmsales.com.
Listen up and listen in all the time to your favorite news talk station, Super Talk 1450 and 1490, the talk of Eastern Oregon. It's online streaming, available at supertalkradio.com. Whether smartphone, tablet, or computers, stream your Super Talk when and where you want it. Streaming on Super Talk Radio, sponsored by Nate Conklin State Farm Insurance, LeGrand. Let Nate Conklin and his team of highly trained professionals give you the peace of mind and value for all your insurance needs.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care. I ever get back, so let's root for the home team. They don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The Johnny Ballgame
Appreciate everybody and welcome to one of the most fabulous sports weeks of the year on a Bracket Monday. Johnny Ballgame Show, what we hope is your favorite sports talk radio program, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 right here on Super Talk Radio. You can catch the program on YouTube or the program's website as well. That's JohnnyBallGameShow.com. When you are there, please remember to participate in this year's Pepsi Bracket Challenge. That's the official Johnny Ballgame Show March Madness Tournament group. It's through ESPN.com. Go there. Again, if you go to my website, front page, JohnnyBallGameShow.com, you'll find everything. Click there and join the group, the Johnny Ballgame Show group, and the password is Pepsi. Very, very easy. All lowercase everything. Pepsi. P-E-P-S-I. So, yeah, this is the first day of it. And this is one of those quirky weeks, dude. You got the playing games on Tuesday. You got the playing games on Wednesday. Nobody gives a rip about those. I get you on that. But the madness really does kick off on Thursday. And you got all the games Friday, all the games Saturday and Sunday as well. 48 games, I believe, in 4 days. And when you lose, your season's over, dude. That's it. And especially like in today's college basketball, like if Duke loses, that's it. No more Zion playing at Duke. I mean, a lot of these kids one and done now. They get one shot at their one shining moment in the NCAA tournament, man. And that's how it is. And that's, I think, part of the reason why fans just love following this thing. We love tournaments in this country. We love underdog stories. We love upsets. No question. I mean, this is the month. Actually, more like this is the week, which is funny, where everybody becomes a college basketball expert. I'll be at bench warmers tonight, and some dude will be telling me about Baylor. And I can be like, you know what? I bet that dude hasn't seen more than 2 Baylor games this year. But, he's going to be all over Baylor. Telling me, he likes them. He likes their chance to beat Syracuse and then give the Zags one hell of a game. I love this time here. Everybody turns into an expert on college basketball. And this is our Bracket Monday. We go over all 4 regions. I tell you what I like. You give me, what you like, what you don't like, what your upset specials may be here and there. We're just going to talk a lot about this. Obviously, most of this week will we just be covering our March Madness here. And again, participate in our poll, please, on the ESPN.com. Search Johnny Ballgame Show, sign up, our Pepsi Bracket Challenge, and we want to make sure you get in that. So that's what we're going to do. I want to hear from you today, my sweet little chuckleheads. Email, text message, or give me a phone call, and I want to get your take on this. One guest this program, typically we won't guest up on Monday, don't usually need to, don't usually want to. But today we'll have one special guest on our program. Won't be until hour 3. We're going to save this guest for our Ace Hardware finale tonight. He is an assistant coach at Santa Clara University. They play in the WCC against Gonzaga, against St. Mary's every year. He's Scott Garson. He'll be joining us on the Farmers Insurance Hotline hour 3. Garce used to be the head coach at the College of Idaho, not far from where we are here right now on the NAIA level, but most notably, he was an assistant under Ben Howland at UCLA for 9 years. This guy recruited Russell Westbrook, Kevin Love, and I think about 14 other future NBA players he coached when he was at UCLA. He's been to, as an assistant coach, 3 Final Fours with UCLA on those great, like, Westbrook, Kevin Love, Darren Collison, UCLA teams that went to 3 in a row. What was it? 06, 07, 08? 05, 06, 07, something like that. 3 in a row there, and he'll be joining us in hour number 3, and that's always a terrific guest, so we're excited to bring on Scott Garson, hour number 3. Let's have some fun with this thing. I think we're all set. Let's get this going today. Your top story on a Bracket Monday, brought to you today by Kurt's RV Service and Repair. So many things to talk about when welcoming you to the madness this season. I just wanted to go over a couple of things that I noticed on Selection Sunday that I think might be pertinent to your brackets as well, and just good old-fashioned water cooler talk for what's one of the most popular sporting events in this country. First off, the 4 number 1 seeds. Now, I'm going to have to turn back the clock on this, but I don't remember another year, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember another year where you had 3 number 1 seeds from one conference. That's how it shaped up for Selection Sunday. The ACC, Duke, North Carolina, and Virginia, all number 1s. And I think that's what was the final finish of the AP Top 25 poll that came out, which is now relevant, of course. But I think they got ACC teams 1, 2, and 3. It's almost like the SEC in college football. The only other number 1 was out west, and that was Gonzaga. And I thought that was something to talk about initially. I mean, think about this. You got 3 ACC teams and Gonzaga. So here we are for a season. Check this out. No Big Ten number 1 seed. No Big 12 number 1 seed. No SEC number 1 seed, and certainly no Pac-12 number 1 seed. So out of the Power 5 conferences, only 1 got a number 1 seed, and that 1 got 3 of them in Duke, UVA, and UNC. Isn't that a little something, something? Just when you think you've seen it all with this tournament. I mean, 4 of the top 5 Power 5 conferences don't have a number 1 seed. I thought that was interesting. Bids were stolen, no question. And let's start right here on a local level. How about those Ducks, Duck fans? How about that? Dana Altman and the Ducks rally at Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament. They beat the Huskies, blew them out, quite frankly, Saturday night, earning another trip to the dance. Oregon wasn't there last year, but they're back this year. And it's tough because you lose Mo Bamba, and the Ducks thought, okay, it was over. All right, probably not going to happen. The whole Pac-12 was shot. And Oregon rallies in Vegas, and now all of a sudden Duck fans will look back on the 18-19 season and not throw it in the trash can. Not say, oh, well, yeah, they went to the NIT. No, dude, they're going dancing. And here's another local level thing I wanted to talk about. The Ducks, dude, the Ducks got a good draw, man. I know they're a 12 seed, but 12 seeds win all the time in this tournament, and they were sent to San Jose. That's exactly where Oregon wanted to go. That is the closest place in proximity you could have sent them. The only other place is Salt Lake City out west, and for my money, Eugene to San Jose is quicker than Eugene to Salt Lake. I mean, the Ducks got sent exactly where they wanted to go in San Jose now. Their opponent, Wisconsin, the whole pack of Badgers, Here's a team that didn't go to the tournament last year either, Wisconsin. Kind of dipping down a little bit, but now they're back. Now, Vegas isn't buying this as necessarily a 5-12, or maybe they are. Right now, Wisconsin, the 5 seed, Oregon's opponent, is only a 1-point favorite in that game. Think about that. You got a 5 versus 12, and the 5 is only favored by 1. This could be a real interesting weekend for the Oregon Ducks. I say that because if they do beat Wisconsin, like a lot of people are predicting, they're going to get K-State or UC Irvine, which, by the way, Anteaters getting sent to San Jose was absolutely money for them, too. And a lot of people think the Anteaters have a chance against Bruce Weber and Kansas State. But if you look at Oregon's draw, just Oregon's entire draw, you get Wisconsin. I think this is a coin flip game. Records are like identical, both coming from big conferences only. Obviously, the Big Ten was much more significant this year than the Pac-12. But if you win that game, you get K-State or UC Irvine. Probably not a K-State. If they play Oregon, they're not going to be favored by 10 points in that thing. Heck no. No, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. The Ducks got a good draw in this thing. Other Pac-12 teams, Arizona State, playing in a play-in game versus St. John's, which is cool. I was happy to see the Johnnies back in the tournament. And my Washington Huskies out of the Pac-12, interesting draw. They go to Columbus, Ohio, and they'll play Utah State. Utah State from the Mountain West. All things considered, the Huskies is the 9, should be able to beat Utah State as an 8. More powerful program. Look, if you're playing in this league and you're playing in this tournament and you're playing a mid-major team and you come from a major conference, you should have a chance. And I think my Dogs have a chance against Utah State. I think they can win that one. The only problem is if my Dogs do win that game, you get North Carolina round 2. Bye-bye. See, Oregon's draw? Not at all. Oregon, again, back to Oregon real quick. They got a good draw. Duke, a lot of people will be talking about this. They're the number 1 overall seed. They struggle to shoot threes. I'll be talking a lot about that all stinking week. And it may not matter because they do everything else so stinking well. It may not matter for Duke and their inability to shoot threes. We'll see, right? Time will tell. I like Duke's draw too. I don't think that Duke runs into mega fierce competition until possibly Michigan State in the Elite 8. Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Get in on this. Call me, email me, send me text messages. Let's go to the Northwest Furniture and Mattress text line. First text of the program. Johnny, the Ducks were a 12 seed in 2013 and went to the Sweet 16. I believe, was that Coach Altman's, was that one of his first trips to the dance as head coach at Oregon? I think so. I can't remember. And my boy Bondi chiming in saying, Johnny, the Big East, the old Big East, the great Big East in 2009, 10 years ago, he's saying had 3 number 1 seeds in that 09. I missed that on Selection Sunday. I had something that Bondi hasn't had. I had a lady friend over this weekend, so I wasn't watching Selection Sunday as closely as I typically do. Shout out to my boy Ronald Bond. He'll see you later this week. But yeah, just a couple of other things I wanted to make notes of. I like the Zags draw, I really do, but Florida State, who beat them last year, you can never tell with them. And that second round game's not going to be easy for Gonzaga, taking on a Syracuse team that knocked them out of the tournament. What would that have been, 3 years ago? We will see about the Gonzaga run. That's going to be an interesting one. The number 2 seeds, I like Kentucky's draw. I like Michigan State's draw until they get to Duke. Tennessee, we'll see. I think Tennessee is in trouble round 2 against Cincinnati. I think the Bearcats I think the Bearcats can get to the Sweet 16 on that. And the other number 2 seed is Michigan. Never fall asleep on Michigan in this tournament. John Beilein, whether he's at West Virginia with Kevin Pittsnagel, remember that dude, or at Michigan, Beilein wins these tournament games, dude. Beilein goes on deep runs. In Michigan as a 2 seed, along with Michigan State, don't fall asleep on those 2 Big Ten teams. It's almost like it's perfect for Izzo to creep into another Final Four as a 2 seed this year. Nobody's talking about Michigan State. As far as the mid-majors go, I mean, let's be honest, your guess is as good as mine. High-level mid-majors like Houston, like Nevada, high-level teams there that don't come from mega conferences. I don't know if you consider the Big East one with teams like Villanova. Other teams that maybe can get out of that first weekend or at least give you one heck of a surprise. Buffalo, they're another team. Buffalo's a team that's favored in its game, but it comes from the MAC. And certainly the basketball level in the MAC, we'll see. They're going to play, Buffalo's going to either play Arizona State or the Johnnies. That'll be a fun one. No, the brackets are out. Everybody's having fun with it again. Get to my Pepsi Bracket Challenge. Go to my website. It's right there on the main link to click and play. We're part of the ESPN group. And the Pepsi Bracket Challenge, loving it. My juices are flowing, dude. I'm going to talk about something that, oh my gosh, this is going to shock no one. I honestly think that this season, you will have the highest percentage of brackets of all time, okay? Ending with the same 2 teams playing for the championship on that, April 8th, Monday. I think we're going to have a record being broke of the participants in the national championship game. I want to talk about that, but first, remember, Kurt's RV Service and Repair. Look, it's gorgeous out. It's been sunny like every day now, knock on wood, for a long stretch. The weather's supposed to be stinking spectacular this week, which means, yes, dust off the RV, the fifth wheel, the camper, the trailer. Dust it sucking off, because I'm telling you, you're going to want to go on that next great excursion, that next great family trip. Memorial Day weekend's not going to be far away. Telling you, you're going to get that out and get that sucker out before you go anywhere to Kurt's RV Service and Repair. UConn on the women's side. I just thought this was of note. The UConn women did not get a number 1 seed today for the women's selection special that's going on right now, I believe. The UConn women got a 2 seed today. Now, the reason I say that with any type of significance is because it's the first time that UConn hasn't been a number 1 seed, okay, since 2006, ending I don't know how to say this, an illustrious, I think that would work, an improbable, 12-year run of being a number 1 seed. UConn women, it's over. You're a 2 seed. Sorry. Yeah. Wow. Rock bottom, huh? UConn is a 2 seed on the women's side. Yeah, we're gonna love this thing. I love this thing. Hopefully you do as well. March Madness officially starts here with your bracket Monday. Don't go anywhere. Give me a quick one.
A house would be easy to manage if it were just a box, but we cut holes in it. Doors, windows. We add things, change things. We heat it, illuminate it, take showers. So how do you get your home to work efficiently and save money? Simple. Just visit energytrust.org/myhome. Energy Trust of Oregon provides cash incentives and advice on using less energy or even making your own, all so you can get more from your energy.
Tradio. Tune in every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. as Cliff Turner hosts Union and Baker County's largest garage sale. Listeners, call and email Cliff with items they have for sale, and he puts their message on the air absolutely free. Tradio is proudly brought to you by My Hearing Centers. Try before you buy, exclusively at My Hearing Centers. Book your free hearing evaluation and free trial today. Call 663-4772. 663-4772.
The current Northeast Oregon road conditions are as follows. On I-84, there are no road closures to report at this time. Clear roads are being reported in the Meacham and Cabbage Hill area, as well as the Ladd Canyon and Baker City areas, too. There is a minimum chain restriction in effect, though. You are required to carry chains or traction tires regardless of current conditions. For more road condition updates, stay tuned throughout the day or visit tripcheck.com.
All of my love, all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. Oh boy, when you're with me, oh boy. Oh boy, the whole world can see that you were meant for me.
There's so much stuff to get to. Again, welcome back. Sports Talk Radio, Johnny Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers Pub and Grill. Make sure you get to Bench Warmers. Obviously, they got the big bracket right behind the bar there. Really cool, nice visual there. And you betcha every one of these games is going to be airing at Bench Warmers Pub and Grill, along with other cool stuff. Baseball, dude, are you going to be up, what is it, 2:30 in the morning tomorrow? Wednesday morning, I think it would be. So Tuesday night, 2:30 in the morning, you get what I'm talking. Early Wednesday, the Mariners, what is it, in the Tokyo Dome playing the Oakland A's? Did you see the throw Ichiro had today playing in an exhibition game in Japan? Dude, it was like 0-1 Terrence Long stuff in Oakland. Sorry, A's fans. No, seriously. Ichiro, they already made the announcement. He's playing opening day. 45 years old. I'm going to talk about it later because, he was about 20 points shy. Ichiro was 20 points shy of hitting 100 this year in spring training. Honestly. I think it's a circus act. Not a super fan of it. We'll talk later. Get the emails and text messages coming, and I would like to apologize to Ronald Bond for that. That was probably just a little overboard with that. Bondy has a lot of lady friends. There I go again. I love it. But yeah, so keep your text messages coming in and everything going. It's going to be stinking awesome. This is going to be a blast this whole week. Blazers tonight against the Indiana Pacers. That's in Moda, and that's a big game, dude. The Pacers can play. Even after losing Victor Oladipo, they're still in this thing. They're like the 3 seed in the East. The Indiana Pacers. Nate McMillan, no one's going to even talking about it, but he should be in small contention for NBA Coach of the Year this year. My man Nate McMillan, a.k.a. Mr. Sonic. Love you, Nate. Wish you would have been better in Portland, but whatever. It's not here, not there. We got tons of text messages and emails coming in. We'll get to those. You guys are pumped for some March Madness, I can tell. Let me just go on the record and say this right now. Duke versus North Carolina in the championship, okay? They're on opposite brackets. It can full happen. Duke's the number 1 overall seed. Either was it Carolina or UVA, the number 2 overall seed. Can't remember who it was. It would probably have been UVA is the 2, I would guess, because Kentucky is a 2 seed in the Carolina bracket. I think that's probably, unless they seeded Tennessee higher than Kentucky. Anyway, I don't really think it matters, but here's what I'm guessing. ESPN right now has like 6 million brackets done, which is crazy, right? 6 million brackets are already on the ESPN site. Of those 6 million, I'm willing to guess that like 25% of them have Duke and North Carolina meeting for the NCAA championship. I think you're going to see so much of that. Just when you're at bench warmers, when you're at work, when you're texting your buddies, hey, who you got for the championship? I think it's going to be I got Duke versus North Carolina. Yep. And my gosh, that would be the coolest thing ever. Probably be the highest rated championship game since Magic versus Bird from Salt Lake City in 1979, dude. Indiana State, Michigan State. Probably be the highest rated national championship game since that. If it's Duke versus UNC, probably would be. Now, they have never met in the tournament. I hope you guys know that because you're going to fill it all out. Everybody's going to have Duke versus UNC. Not a once. They've never met in the tournament, which I thought was very odd that they've never played for that. And if that's the case, because again, I think there's going to be, I think there's going to be a ton of players. A ton of participants having Duke versus North Carolina. Duke seems to be everyone's pick. I'm trying to find ways to pick against it. I often find myself, when I fill out the brackets, I often find myself doing stuff where a week later I look at it and I say, really, Ballgame? Why the hell did you have Purdue going to the Elite Eight there? Really, dude? You really thought it, Johnny? Gosh, John, you really thought that Iowa State was going to beat Houston in the second round? Really, Johnny? Like, I do that to myself all the time. Murray State, everybody loves Ja Morant. I like that Marquette team as well, by the way. But you really had Ja Morant going to the Sweet 16, Johnny? I do that stuff all the time, and I'm like, why did I get cute? Don't you love how the tournament does get cute? I'm sorry, but Louisville versus Minnesota, that's one of the things that the committee looks around and they chuckle a little bit on. Like, yeah, let's go ahead and do this one. That's Richard Pitino, son of Rick Pitino at Minnesota, coaching Louisville, the program that he used to be an assistant for, and again, more notably, the program that fired his dad. Rick Pitino, his dad, is suing the school. There's lawsuits pending there between the Pitino family and Louisville. And now, first round, Richard Pitino, son of Rick, is going to get to say, hey, Dad, yeah, I got you on this one, man. I'm a murder face your ex-team, bro. Dad, Pops, I got you. I'm going to murder face Louisville for you. No, that's a fun matchup in the first round. That's one of those matchups, it's a 7-10. I mean, flip a stinking coin. And the location, it's in Iowa. I don't know if that advantage helps anybody, Louisville or Minnesota, playing in Iowa. Some stuff there. But yeah, I think Duke versus North Carolina is going to be everybody's championship game. Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Text messages coming in. Let's get to these. Northwest Furniture and Mattress. First one, dude, which team is the Cinderella team? Dude, are you kidding me? How am I supposed to know that? That's a good text, and I appreciate it, but that's the $1 million question, dude. Who are the Cinderella teams this year? It's not a team like Houston. Yeah, they're a 3 seed. That doesn't qualify. Cinderella, I'll give you 6 seed or higher. Like if a 6 seed goes to the Final Four, let's say that would be Maryland, Buffalo, Villanova, or Iowa State. God, I can't call Nova a Cinderella. They've won this tournament 2 of the last 3 times. They're a 6 seed right now, and I'm worried for the 11 there, St. Mary's. I think Jay Wright, this Nova team, I know they lost some big pieces from last year's team. I just still think they're going to be tournament savvy. I like Villanova getting out of the first weekend as an 11. I think you get a good chance to beat Purdue in the second round there. Cinderella teams, I don't know. You know, that's for you to decide, dude. I don't know who Cinderella teams are. Hopefully I can have a better idea as we get further into the week. But, I mean, heck, Nevada is a 7. Florida is a 10. People love Florida right now. How about your Oregon Ducks? Can we call them a Cinderella this year? Again, I love their road in San Jose against a Wisconsin team that people are coin flipping. Vegas. That spread might be off. That might be a pick'em in Vegas because right now it's Wisconsin -1. That's what's crazy. Oregon's a 12 seed. They just squeaked into this thing in the middle of the night through the back door. All of a sudden, what the Ducks are in the tournament? I bet a lot of you guys listening to my show, you didn't pay attention to conference championship week or whatever. You have a life. You were busy on Saturday. You didn't catch it that the Dogs were playing the Ducks in the Pac-12 championship game. And you woke up today or whatever, you turned on your phone, you looked at wherever you get your news from on your phone or wherever, paper, whatever you're doing these days, and you saw Oregon was in the tournament. You're like, wait, what? I thought they were bad this year. Now, squeaked in, back door, middle of the night. They could have some Cinderella stuff to them. I always like asking this question. Who's the first 1 seed to go down? Okay? Only once have we seen all 4 1 seeds make the Final Four. So 1 seeds go down, and they go down hard, dude. Which one? First off, UVA. I just don't trust a team that doesn't score a lot of points. I get it. The defense is terrific, but they lost to a 16 seed last year, and that was the reason they couldn't score. When UVA, and this is rare, but when they run into a real hot team that's hitting its threes, it's tough for UVA to compete. They just can't turn it on and score. They can't play a bunch of different ways, like, say, a North Carolina could. So I don't trust UVA. Duke, I mean, do you know the numbers? There's 351 teams in college basketball, Division I, 351. Duke ranked 333rd in team three-point percentage. 333 out of 351. That means they are horrendous as a team shooting threes in a sport where the three-point shot in line has never been bigger or more useful. It's hard for me to imagine a team that can't shoot threes winning 6 out of 6 games in this thing. It's hard for me to imagine. They rank 199th in three-pointers made out of 351. And they shoot under 31% as a team from downtown, which ranks 333rd out of 351. And that's the team that everybody has going the whole way. Just telling you, if they get into a game against a team that's hot, and they're drilling their threes, and Duke's simply not, and Duke goes through one of its games where they shoot 3 for 29 for downtown, maybe we get to the last media timeout under 4 minutes in the game, and it's close. That's kind of what I see happening. Now, I've talked to a lot of people, and they say, don't worry about it. Duke's just too good. They're just too talented. And what if there's a game if Zion gets in foul trouble? That can't happen. I get it. It's Duke, and they'll have their protection there. But there's Zion. What if R.J. Barrett picks up 2 fouls early in the first half? He sits for 14, 15 minutes. Duke's not deep. To me, there are some areas in that armor where you can strike. And the best one would be you hope that you're hitting your threes and hope that Duke isn't. Now, we're talking about a team like UCF or VCU round 2. We're talking about a team like Mississippi State, Virginia Tech possibly round 3, maybe Liberty. A lot of people are high on Liberty. And what do they say about Liberty? They shoot extremely well from downtown. I like Mississippi State, though. I like my boy Ben Howland. He's good in this tournament. All those years with UCLA, some deep runs there. That's going to be an interesting thing there, too. But for me, everybody's pick, everybody's All-American is going to be Duke versus North Carolina in the national championship. I think there's going to be, honestly, you're going to play in a bracket challenge, and you're going to look, and everybody is going to have Duke versus North Carolina. And I don't think that's going to be how it goes. I don't think that's going to be how it plays out, dude. Like, how many times do you remember, dude? How many times do you remember following the tournament, filling out a bracket where mainly it was like chalk? Like, oh, yeah, had that, yeah, easy peasy, got my Final Four, yeah, easy. It never ends up like that. The teams that everybody thinks are going to go mega far or go all the way seem like they never do. I mean, even like years where you had like historical teams, okay? I'm talking the 2015 Kentucky Wildcats. They were undefeated going into the tournament before they lost in the Final Four to Frank Kaminsky and that Wisconsin team. That Kentucky team was like completely unbeatable with Karl Anthony Towns and like 9 other NBA players. Okay? They didn't even get to the national championship game. Didn't even get there. All those great Duke teams that didn't get there. And there were a lot of those. Heck, the best team I think I ever saw, the 1991 UNLV Runnin' Rebels, went undefeated the entire year. Larry, Stacy, Greg, Anderson, George, that whole team, Jerry Tarkanian, the 91 Runnin' Rebs, lost in the Final Four semis to Duke freshman Bobby Hurley? Or was that sophomore? Sophomore Bobby Hurley, I'm sorry. Like, they didn't win it. Fab Five never cut down the net. It's always like that one team that you absolutely think, oh, dude, like Duke right now I'm seeing in Vegas, Duke's at 2-1 to win this tournament, which to me is insane. Don't put your money there. If you do, I mean, you're only getting 2-1. There's 68 teams in this tournament, and they're only giving you 2-1 odds if you're betting Duke. To me, that's absurd. What are my odds with North Carolina? Hell, I'll make a bet. I'll take Gonzaga, North Carolina, and give me Kentucky. I'll bet those 3 teams and get much better odds. I don't know. Maybe Duke does run through this. Maybe they do. They look terrific in the ACC tournament. I watched the ACC tournament 2 years ago when they had a guy named Jason Tatum take it over. And I looked at that and I said, okay, I don't care what the draw is. I have Duke winning it all. And I did. I had Duke winning it all. This was 2 years ago. Remember what happened? They lost in round 2 to South Carolina. They didn't get out of the opening weekend. Duke did. Yes, it's possible. Duke can go 1-1 in this thing. It happens. It happened 2 years ago with a really good team. So what happens, dude? The main team that everybody's on usually doesn't end up winning it. That's what makes this so stinking fun. If that was the way, if that was just chalk, if that's how this thing happened, people wouldn't care as much. They just wouldn't. If everybody knew like 95% that the number 1 seeds would all be in the Final Four, it wouldn't be as big, dude. The reason it's as big as it is because you're watching games, you're hanging out at bench warmers with your buddies, you're in the second half, and you're like, uh-oh, VCU has a 9-point lead on Duke with 13 minutes left. Let's see what happens here, man. That's the madness people are talking about. It's not, oh, we know everybody who's going to win, and that's all. No, that's not the case, dude. Not the case. Northwest Furniture and Mattress, they have the perfect setup for March Madness at Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Recliners, love seats, couches. Make sure you're watching these games at the utmost level of comfort. And you can find it at Northwest Furniture and Mattress, your first stop for quality in La Grande. Hopefully, we're going to be doing a lot more with Northwest Furniture and Mattress in our Pepsi Bracket Challenge, looking for really cool prizes. We'll keep you posted on some of the prizes we're going to have for our tournament. Remember, it's free. I'm not charging anything, but I am giving away really cool prizes to the top finishers. So go to my website, JohnnyBallGameShow.com. Make sure you sign up. So, some good stuff. Want to give a shout out to Parker. What's going on? I know you're tuning in. Appreciate you, my bro. What else we got going on? Upset specials. I know everybody wants to know who the upsets are. I wish I knew, man. I wish I knew as well. We're gonna read some emails, text messages coming in. Get those in. By the way, it is Monday. I forgot to tease this, but we will play buy or sell. About what, 30 minutes, 35 minutes? We'll play buy or sell. Get those buy or sells in. You make the statement. I'm either going to buy it and say, yeah, you know what you're talking about. You're right. Or I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to tell you to get the hell out of here. You make the statement. Something that's going to happen. It can be tournament. It can be Blazers. It can be NFL draft. Whatever you want. You make the statement. I'm going to buy it and say, yeah, you know what you're doing. Or I'm going to sell it. I'm going to say, make like a tree. So let's do that. Next hour, that's buy or sell. Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto. Quick one.
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In the Grand tonight, mostly clear skies with a low near 27 degrees. For tomorrow, plenty of sunshine and breezy conditions with a high near 57. In Baker City tonight, mostly clear conditions too, low of 31 degrees. And for tomorrow, sunny and breezy conditions with a high near 57. This weather forecast is brought to you by Island City Market and Deli. AMSOIL lubricants are engineered friction-reducing synthetics. For optimum fuel efficiency and extreme temperature performance, regular oil just can't touch. No matter what you drive, operate, or ride, you need AMSOIL. Ask for AMSOIL today only at Island City Market and Deli.
MJ Goss Motors has been your community-minded local auto dealership for almost 100 years. There's a reason Goss Motors has been one of the most successful businesses in the history of Eastern Oregon. Goss Motors supports local businesses and makes sure you're taken care of. They have a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Goss Motors, your Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC dealer, complete with the GM-certified service department. And you get a free car wash with every type of service. Community-minded, MJ Goss Motors in downtown LeGrand since 1922.
In honor of servicemen and women of America who have sacrificed so much for our nation and values, Super Talk Radio continually focuses on how we can support our veterans. Whether it's through highlighting helpful organizations, showcasing stories of veterans during their time of service, or covering efforts to assist veterans in need, we'd like to take a moment of time to say thank you for freedom. This message brought to you in part by Premier Auto Body. For top quality collision and auto body repair services with free estimates, stop by Premier Auto Body on Broadway in Baker City.
It's officially March Madness, and the Johnny Ballgame Show's Pepsi Bracket Challenge is back. It's free to participate, and as always, we have killer prizes. Visit JohnnyBallGameShow.com, and you'll see the sign-up options right there on the front of the page. You can also go to ESPN.com and sign up for the Tournament Challenge and join the Johnny Ballgame Show group. Remember, the password to join the group is Pepsi. Okay, folks? Pepsi. Sign up and play, and let the madness win you a bunch of cool prizes. Yeah, I thought that was so crazy. UConn receiving a number 2 seed. The first time UConn women haven't been a number 1 since 2006. It's 13 years, man. That's a heck of a streak of number 1 seeds. Good for UConn. Oregon State dancing on the women's side. Oregon obviously dancing. A lot of Northwest teams, a lot of stuff to talk about there for the women's tournament. Good stuff. Text messages coming in. First one from my boy Steiner. Johnny, who is the first 1 or 2 seed to bumble turd out of the tournament? Good one, Steiner, and I like the lingo, bro, man. Like the bumble turd reference. Steiner, I'm going to say Tennessee. Rick Barnes. Tennessee is the number 2 seed in the South region, and I have either Cincinnati or Iowa winning that second round matchup versus Tennessee. I'll give them a win against Colgate, no question. But Cincinnati is hot right now. They just beat the Houston Cougars in the championship of the American Athletic Conference. That's a good basketball league. Cincinnati won that conference tournament. They're playing well. They're hot. That game is in Columbus, Ohio. Where is Cincinnati again? Let me look on my map. Yeah, that's a good draw, dude. Tennessee, not far, but decent draw there. No, but look, do I think Duke's losing its first 2 games? I hope so. That'd be awesome, but no. I don't think Virginia is going to do that again. That would be my number 1. My number 2 spot on there would be UVA. I just don't think they're going to malfunction like that again. I think the Zags have a good chance to lose in the second round. I'll just say that. I think the Zags get out of the first round, but that round 2 game against either Baylor or Syracuse will be tougher for Gonzaga. I will tell you this, advantage Gonzaga, that game is being played, no, not in Mark Few's backyard, but pretty close, Salt Lake City. That's an easy trip. The Zag Nation, 1, it's a quick and cheap flight. 2, it's doable by car. That's a big thing for this tournament. When your diehards can drive to see you play, that's a big advantage. And that's why I look at Oregon's draw, getting sent to San Jose. Are you kidding me? That game, Ducks, Wisconsin, on, Friday? There's going to be twice as many Duck fans in that arena as Badger fans. Just a thing I'm throwing out there. First off, there's already Oregon Duck alums living in the Bay Area. More so, I would think, than Wisconsin alums. Those alums, you want to draw from them and get them to buy a ticket. Plus, it's not a far flight. It's a doable drive from Eugene to the Bay Area. I mean, it's not like the Washington Huskies are in Columbus, Ohio. Seattle folks, you got to fly from Seattle to Columbus. You can't drive this one. And if you do, you're on the road right now. Have fun. That's a big thing for Gonzaga going back there, is the fact that they are at Salt Lake. That arena will be all filled with Zag fans. That's a tough trip for Syracuse fans to make all the way from, western New York? That's a tough trip there. And Baylor, obviously, in Texas. I don't think Michigan's going to lose early, although, gosh, that Florida matchup, that Nevada matchup versus Michigan could be real dicey in the second round. Man, there's some tough ones. There's some tough ones, dude. Who's going to be the early big seed bumble turd? Like last year, Arizona, what were they, a 3 seed? Losing to Buffalo? Who's going to be the early bumble turd? I don't see it being Duke and North Carolina. They're just too cool for school. They're not going to lose in the first 2 rounds. I see them in the Sweet 16. I'm going to give it up for UVA this year, too. I mean, they've lost, 3 times? And it's all 3 losses have been they lost to Florida State and then twice to Duke? I think they get out of the weekend. But some very interesting second round matchups. No question. Some interesting second round matchups. Johnny, you're correct. I picked Duke versus North Carolina. I stayed away from upsets and Cinderellas this year. And by the way, I am really pumped for early Wednesday morning A's Mariners go A's. That's my boy Caleb. Maybe you saw him over this weekend, Caleb. He was having a blast prancing around downtown in his kilt celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Wonderful, wonderful person right there. Caleb, it was fun hanging out with you, man. Good stuff. But yep, Caleb's going to say it. I got Duke versus North Carolina in the national championship. If you don't have that, shoot me a text, 541-962-7700. Tell me who you got. Who's your natty? What's your final 2? Because I'm saying, everything I've seen so far, everything I'm looking at, everybody, they got Duke and North Carolina. And that would, honestly, and I'm not a big front runner guy like that. I don't love either program. I mean, it's tough not to respect them. Coach K, I have ahead of John Wooden. I think Coach K, what he's done is more impressive than what John Wooden did. Not that I saw, that I know of. But I still love seeing them lose. I love seeing the number 1 seeds, the big boys, lose, But this year, dude, everybody's going to have Duke versus North Carolina. I mean, you just don't trust Virginia and Gonzaga, in my opinion, enough to put them the whole way through. Even though, look, the Zags just 2 years ago were in the national title game against North Carolina. I've heard of some people saying rematch there. Give them a Zags Tar Heels rematch for the Natty. That would be fun. Don't count out UVA. Don't count out Kentucky. I mean, there's some really good teams in this thing. The 2 Michigan teams, don't count them out. They can play as well. So, yeah. Are you ready? It's going to be a fun one. No question. What else do we got here? I got Johnny. The 3-point discrepancy is where I see Duke going out. There's my boy Bushy chiming in. It's tough not to ignore Bushy boy. They rank 333rd of 351 in 3-point percentage as a team, just over 30%. I mean, that's like one of the worst teams. And it's not like football where there's 128 D1 teams. Basketball, no, there's 351 of them. 351 Division I teams. And 332 of them shoot better than Duke from downtown. And I'm sorry, man, but the 3-point line is a big equalizer, neutralizer, difference maker in college basketball. First off, that line's so stinking close. Those dudes are making them like free throws now. Now, here's the other thing. Watch this. Throughout the tournament, Duke will turn it on or something. And as a team, they'll end up shooting like 42% from downtown, and they will just smother dudes. If Duke could shoot just average 3-point stuff, whatever the national average is for a team, 35%. Then it's going to be really hard for them to go down. But if they go down, like, I'll tell you this, I have a bracket today. In my only bracket I have right now, I have Duke losing to Michigan State in the regional final. I have Sparty going to the Final Four from the East region. I have them beating Duke in the regional final. And you know what? And I really thought hard. I thought hard about Mississippi State beating Duke in the Sweet 16. I really did. But the problem is I'm worried that Mississippi State can get that far because Jay Billis and everybody else keeps telling me how dangerous Liberty is. Do you see that? Like, everybody's picking Liberty over Mississippi State. It's scary when there's one of those teams. Let's be honest. I have not seen a Liberty. I've seen, one Liberty game this year? That was the championship of their conference tournament, okay? But when everybody talks about these, lower level teams this time of year, this team, love this team. Wofford, Johnny, watch Wofford, the Terriers. Wofford is a 7 seed. And they play what, in the SoCon? Big somewhere? Where the hell are they coming from? And a lot of people are saying that they're going to win. They should win. They're a 7 over Seton Hall, a 10. I love it, man. Ball game show, bench warmers, pub and grill, your home. For March Madness, everything is at Bench Warmers Pub and Grill. We got big games tonight. God, the madness doesn't start till Thursday. I'm not going to say tomorrow the madness begins. It's a stinking play-in game between a couple of 16 seeds. What? Fairleigh Dickinson versus Prairie View A&M. And I'll tell you, Johnny, that Prairie View A&M team, they sure can stroke it. Hopefully for them, that Fairleigh Dickinson defense doesn't show up like it has all year. Whoa, March Madness, Fairleigh Dickinson, Prairie View A&M. No, thank you. But we got some pretty good stuff going on tonight. Some pretty decent games. Let's talk about it. Johnny Ballgame Show, Sports Talk Radio. I love you.
Healthcare visits on your phone with no appointment? GRH Ready Care is an on-demand, online care clinic that goes where you go. You can video chat with a provider in real time from your tablet or smartphone. This safe, confidential care is staffed by Oregon licensed doctors and nurse practitioners who specialize in family medicine, and visits are just $35. Check it out at readycare.grh.org. GRH Ready Care. Care that's ready when you are, wherever you are.
It's officially March Madness, and the Johnny Ballgame Show's Pepsi Bracket Challenge is back. It's free to participate, and as always, we have killer prizes. Visit JohnnyBallGameShow.com, and you'll see the sign-up options right there on the front of the page. You can also go to ESPN.com and sign up for the Tournament Challenge and join the Johnny Ballgame Show group. Remember, the password to join the group is Pepsi. Okay, folks? Pepsi. Sign up and play, and let the madness win you a bunch of cool prizes.
The current Northeast Oregon road conditions are as follows. On I-84, there are no road closures to report at this time. Clear roads are being reported in the Meacham and Cabbage Hill area, as well as the Ladd Canyon and Baker City areas, too. There is a minimum chain restriction in effect, though. You are required to carry chains or traction tires regardless of current conditions. For more road condition updates, stay tuned throughout the day or visit tripcheck.com.
Johnny Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers Pub and Grill. I know that it's tough to get away from the NCAA tournament on talks like this, on days like this. It's Bracket Monday. Are you kidding me? This is Buy All the Way. Let me just shout you out. And maybe I shouldn't, but I have a lot of managers. I got a lot of owners, business owners, decision makers that sponsor this show. So I guess I could owe it for them. But if you run the show wherever you work right now, if you're the boss, maybe you understand how it goes this week, and I hope you do. But, you can look up the statistics. I've seen them. It's funny. Where, productivity numbers are down this week nationwide. Now, there's just a lot more extracurricular stuff going around the office this week than there is, business talk. I mean, you're talking brackets. We're talking which one seed's going to lose first. Who's the mega upset? There's going to be two teams, okay? At least two, Utah. Two that nobody's talking about right now, but they're going to make the Sweet 16. They probably won't go further past that, but there's going to be two teams not a lot of people are talking about right now that will make the Sweet 16. And there's probably going to be two teams that a lot of people are into that are getting printed on a lot of brackets that won't be in the Sweet 16. Maybe 3 or 4 of those. That's what happens in this thing. That's what makes it so much fun. Clayton Kershaw, just a quick note, he will not be ready for opening day. This is just coming across the headlines earlier today, and that's a tough one. ESPN, I think Roberts reporting that Dodgers certainly want Kershaw not only to pitch the opener, but just to be healthy regardless. And that's a rough one for baseball. When you have maybe the best pitcher, one of the best statistical pitchers ever, unable to go for the opener. Baseball opener, it's like next week. This is just such a cool time of year. It really is. I know you don't have football. But, man, there's a lot of other cool stuff going on right now. In football, you can still geek out with the draft. That's all going on. I got some AAF stuff I want to talk about today, too, on my show. Anyway, let's get you your LeGrand Stereo and Music Game of the Night, and a shout-out to the Wasteland Kings, my favorite local band. They will be at the first annual Crawfish Boil. That's this Friday at the Baker Elks. Make sure you're there from 6 to 9. Love the Crawfish Boil. They fly them in. They got the Wasteland Kings playing. That's going to be a great show. Your LeGrand Stereo and Music big game tonight. Indiana Pacers, Portland Trailblazers on a little place called Espen. You can also listen right here on Super Talk Radio. Blazers, Pacers tonight. Here, before that, let's get you the newsy.
Serving Eastern Oregon for over 75 years. This is KLBM LeGrand and KBKR Baker City. Super Talk Radio.
New Zealand
the
attack,
talk of Eastern
presidential
Oregon.
probe. I'm Ann Cates. More reaction today from President Trump over the mosque attacks in New Zealand.
The president's Monday midday tweet upset at news coverage about the alleged Christchurch gunman's references to him as a symbol of, quote, renewed white identity and common purpose. Mr. Trump writes, the fake news media is working overtime to blame me for the horrible attack in New Zealand. They will have to work very hard to prove that one so ridiculous. The manifesto only had brief mentions of President Trump, but the praise renewed the debate about the president's rhetoric since he became a candidate. Advisor Kellyanne Conway.
He has denounced bigotry many times, and I wouldn't be working here if I believed otherwise.
Bob Costantini, Washington.
A House panel investigating the president says it has heard back from many of the 81 individuals and entities it requested materials from. Correspondent Manu Raju.
According to the House Judiciary Committee, they say, quote, a large number of recipients have responded and provided tens of thousands of documents to the committee. Now, they don't specify who has responded, who has not responded, exactly the number of responses, pretty vague in that regard, but they do say that they are encouraged by the early responses.
The Midwest is grappling with historic flooding. Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts says the state has been hit hard.
This really is the most devastating flooding we've probably ever had in our state's history from the standpoint of how widespread it is. We've hit record crestings in the Elkhorn River, the Platte River. We expected yesterday Missouri was also going to break a record. I mean, and these are records that go back to the 1960s.
The National Weather Service predicts major flooding will continue across parts of the Mississippi and Missouri River basins. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 65 points. The S&P 500 closed up 10. The Nasdaq up by 26 points. I'm Ann Cates.
Stocks and options trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Hey guys, it's Scott Bauer here, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Are you looking for a super hot stock tip? Here at Prosper, we are always looking for exciting opportunities in the markets. And right now, all my students are salivating over this stock we are watching. In fact, I've got this hot stock written down right here, and I'm about to text it to you for free. I just need to know where to send it. Simply text HOT to 48542, and I'll text it to you instantly. How do I know this stock is so hot? Well, I'm a former CBOE market maker for Amazon Options, former vice president of Goldman Sachs, and I have over 25 years of professional trading experience. I'm telling you, this stock is hot. But be warned, the stock may move soon, so you need to claim it before it does. Text HOT to 48542, and I'll text you this hot stock instantly. Text HOT to 48542, and I'll text you this hot stock instantly. Message and data rates may...
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In the Grand tonight, mostly clear skies with a low near 27 degrees. For tomorrow, plenty of sunshine and breezy conditions with a high near 57. In Baker City tonight, mostly clear conditions too, low of 31 degrees. And for tomorrow, sunny and breezy conditions with a high near 57. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grand Ronde Hospital. With our 25-bed hospital and 13 outpatient clinics, we offer acute, emergency, primary, and specialty care options for everyone.
Grand Ronde Hospital.
Blue Mountain Auto Parts is your local Napa Auto Parts dealer. On Jefferson in downtown La Grande, Blue Mountain Auto Parts is Eastern Oregon's leader for car, truck, and SUV accessories. Bed covers, power steps, roll bars, bed liners, in-bed toolboxes, they have it all. Blue Mountain Auto Parts also has a huge selection of power tools, hand tools, and everything in between. Monty and his staff are waiting to help you at Blue Mountain Auto Parts, your local Napa Auto Parts dealer.
Tune into the Under the Hood Show, America's favorite car talk show, every Sunday morning from 9 to 11 on KLBM 1450 and KBKR 1490. The Under the Hood Show is sponsored in part by East Adams Car Wash in La Grande. Find satisfaction and the ultimate clean knowing you washed it and got it done right at East Adams Car Wash in La Grande. The Under the Hood Show every Sunday morning from 9 to 11 on Super Talk Radio, the talk of Eastern Oregon. KLBM 1450 and KBKR 1490.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care. I ever get back, so let's root for the home team. They don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The Johnny Ballgame
I
Show.
appreciate everybody. Johnny Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers, Pub and Grill, in hour number 2 on a Bracket Monday. Gotta love this time of year. Look, if you just can't handle college basketball, like if it's like the worst thing for you, like you have no interest in the tournament, you hate the stupid bracketology, you hate the CBS theme song, you hate how work productivity is down this week, you hate everything about it, man, this just stinking isn't your week. I'm not going to try to convince you either way. All I'll tell you this is there's still a lot going on the sports scene. You know, baseball's really heating up right now. Spring training coming to an end. I mean, the Mariners are home a week from Thursday, and your boy, Ballgame, me, I'll be there. I'm going. The Mariners are playing Wednesday morning at like 2:30 a.m. Pacific time. They're playing in Japan. Little bit of a time difference there. Will I wake up and watch it? Yes, I will. I can't guarantee how long I'm going to last, though. The Mariners did this also back in, 2012? They opened the season against Oakland in Japan, didn't they? I think there was another, I think it was. I don't think they had Ichiro on that team. That was, after Ichiro was traded to the Yankees the previous season, which makes a lot of sense now because this is the first time Ichiro's been back. Okay, good sense. But they did this before, and I woke up that time too. I remember waking up, setting my alarm clock for like 2:30 in the morning to wake up like, oh gosh, I'll reach over for my remote, sitting somewhere on my nightstand there, feeling around, turning it on, pressing 206. I'll get to ESPN on my direct TV, and I probably watched the first 2.5 innings, and I just couldn't keep my eyes open. That's probably what I'll do this year too. But I think I'm going to set it and watch it. I mean, I should, man, right? I host a sports radio show in the Pacific Northwest. We talk a lot of stuff about the Mariners. And, so I'm going to probably watch that game, which is odd. But, there's a lot going on for you who hates March Madness. There's a lot still going on. NBA's right there. Baseball's coming. football free agency, stuff like that. I actually have some NFL I want to get to this hour. Might just do this now before we get into buy or sell, which is coming. Continue to get the buy or sells. I got 4 or 5 in. Let's get 4 or 5 more, and we're good for buy or sell. So nice job, Chuckleheads, on that. You make the statement. I'm either going to tell you if I'm buying it, if I'm with you, or I'm going to say, no, you're a yahoo, and I'm going to sell you. I'm going to tell you to get the hell out. This was reported today by Seahawks Wire. That's a USA Today source, and Liz Matthews, a good friend of mine in the business, she covers the Seahawks for USA Today on Seahawks Wire. And Liz wrote an article, and as far as I know, this is the first time this has been discussed. But Earl Thomas was doing his introductory press conference, or he was speaking with NBC Sports writer Peter King after he signed his deal with the Baltimore Ravens. And Earl got a mega deal in Baltimore. Good for Earl, you know. He got a huge contract. Baltimore went in big time on that guy. It's kind of funny, too, because that city's never going to treat him like they'll treat Ed Reed. They just won't. Yeah, in my opinion. Here's what Earl said, and he clarified the situation in Arizona last year when Earl was on the cart being driven off the field, and he flipped the bird to the Seahawks sideline. Who'd you think he was flipping it to? Pete Carroll? John Schneider somewhere? Just the team in general? Russell? Where do you think the bird was going? Well, Earl Thomas explained to NBC Sports' Peter King this, and I'll read it to you. And I quote, "A lot of frustration that day. I was in a battle with a team, and I chose to play. And I was betting on myself. So when it happened, it just added to my frustration. I did what I did, and I saw Pete Carroll, and I just was like, you won, you won." Just a very disappointing day. So now we do know that Earl Thomas there was, it's official, he was flipping off Pete Carroll coming off the field. Fair or completely unfair? Look, Pete Carroll does have stuff to do with salaries, but he is not John Schneider. Pete Carroll coaches the team that he has. And Earl Thomas was under contract last year, and just like Earl Thomas just told you, he was betting on himself. He was betting on himself to have a great year last year, which he was having up until the point he got hurt in week 4. But he was betting on himself, and in the long run, he won. He got a bigger deal than anybody would have thought. But at least now we know Pete Carroll, that bird, that communication, that was right for you. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the long run for that. Because as I talked last week, and this is going to be the #1 game for me to go to next year, Baltimore at Seattle, the return of Earl. I'll be at that game. Give me Sunday night on that. Oh. Yeah, give me that on Sunday night. But it will be interesting, like before that game, will Earl and Pete talk, embrace, say they're sorry, mend the fence, bury the hatchet? Will they? Or is it still going to be a sore spot? I don't know. We'll see, man. That's going to be a fun, stinking game next season. That's not really where I wanted to go here, though. I don't have a problem with this. They're doing everything really for me except just like getting right out there and explaining what they're doing. I don't think it needs an explanation. I think it's pretty stinking evident. And seeing the Miami Dolphins fix their situation at quarterback with the signing of Ryan Fitzpatrick tells me all I need to know. Okay? Miami's going to tank this year. And this is going to be what? Fitzpatrick's 8th team. Good for Fitzy. He's still getting to go to the ballpark every day and getting paid to do it. Not only that, but Fitzpatrick or Fitzmagic, he's probably going to be a week 1 starter again. And he'll be what? Almost 38 years old. Good for the fighting Fitzy boy, right? Still starting in this league in his late 30s, albeit under these circumstances. But hey, throw a little Fitzy cake a bone there. Good for him. He's probably got a week 1 gig in Miami. But the Dolphins trade Ryan Tannehill last week to Tennessee in kind of a weird deal for both teams. They pretty much gave Ryan Tannehill to the Titans. And Tannehill's not cheap. So the Titans have 2 quarterbacks, Mariota and Tannehill, that are neither of them are super cheap, are they? I mean, Mariota, is he going into the final year of his deal? What's this? This is the 4th year for Marcus Mariota, or this will be the 5th year for Mariota, right? So some interesting situations going on there. But anyway, back to Miami. Now, they still have a couple of options. If they want Josh Rosen, I think he could be available with Arizona. So maybe the plan is to sign Ryan Fitzpatrick and trade for Josh Rosen and kind of let the best guy win and go there. They pick 13th in the draft. Yeah, Kyler Murray, Dwayne Haskins ain't falling to you. So in case you're ready to make like Will Grier your cornerstone franchise player at pick 13, Fitzpatrick's going to be your guy next year. And I don't think they're ready to take a Will Grier or whomever at 13th overall. In my opinion, you can't find, it's tough. You got to get lucky to find a franchise quarterback at pick 13. Typically, the folks who tell you who the franchise quarterbacks are and all that situation, those dudes are going in the top 5, man. You got to get really lucky to get a franchise guy outside of the top 10. Really lucky, man. Miami's picking 13. This is a down quarterback year anyway. Nope. I'm getting the call. I'm getting the signal. Miami is in tank mode. They're going to save a bunch on money. So going into next year, they'll be like where the Colts and where the Jets were this year. They'll have about $120 million to spend. Okay? And they'll be picking 1st or 2nd next year in the draft. I don't believe Fitzpatrick is good enough to get you 6-10, 5-11, maybe, I don't know. But no. You're probably going to start Fitzpatrick the first 10 games. You'll be lousy, and then you'll start some rookie dude that you took in like the 6th round. You'll give him a look. He'll be worse than Fitzpatrick, and the Miami Dolphins will finish with 1, 2, or 3 wins, and they'll be picking first. And they will have their choice between the Bama quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, or they're going to have their choice between the Oregon quarterback, Justin Herbert, and anybody else who kind of gets in that mix. But that's Miami's plan. And like I said earlier, I'm okay with it. At least they have one. Okay? And it's not throwing a stinking penny into a stinking fountain. Oh, I want to win the Super Bowl. Oh, here's a penny. I think a lot of teams do that. Like they hope. They toss pennies in wells. Like have a detailed plan. And Miami's thinking like, really, what's the best we could do this year? If we hit on free agency, we hit our picks, we spent all our cap money. They looked at that situation. They said, nah, not good enough. The best we could do still wouldn't be good enough. Okay, so how do we get it good enough? Well, okay, it's not going to be fun for 2019, but we just stink it up. We save up. We don't do anything this year. We put up the white flag. And we live to play another day. We retreat this year. And the signing of Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of tells me that. Fitzpatrick, Buffalo, Cincinnati, the Jets, the Rams, the Bucks, the Titans, the Texans. This will be the 8th team for Ryan Fitzpatrick, which puts him what? He could say that he's suited up for 25% of this league, a quarter of the league. That's pretty cool. Ryan Fitzpatrick has played quarterback for a quarter of the teams in this league. Good for Fitzy boy. But yeah, Miami, not going to happen this year. And use your picks this year. Do what you need to do. Save all the money you can. Don't spend anything more than you have to. And they'll be ready to go next year, ready to turn this thing and get the quarterback they want. If you don't have a high grade on Kyler Murray or Dwayne Haskins, don't take them just because they're all that's there that year. I think a lot of times too many teams make that mistake. The NFL's not going anywhere. If you don't like a quarterback in a certain class, don't take one. Wait, next year's coming, dude. It's not that far. It'll be here. And that's going to be, if it isn't in case, if that's what's going to happen, that's going to be a fun situation, geographically, historically, for whatever quarterback Miami decides to take, to get to go there and kind of be, the chosen one, the decision, going to Miami, being kind of the savior, And if it's Herbert, if it's Tagovailoa, that's going to be a fun situation there, getting to play with the Miami Dolphins. Buy or sell, let's get a couple more. Email me, JohnnyBallGameShow@gmail.com. Goss Motors Inbox, what up? You make a statement, something you think is going to happen in sports. And if I'm agreeing with you, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to tell you how smart you are. And if I don't agree, I'm going to tell you to sell that thing. You're wrong. You're way off base. And I'm going to tell you why. Buy or sell, we do it every Monday. Brought to you by Rock & Sons Tire and Auto. We'll do that. And also a very special on this date. I'll tell you where I was when I saw this happening, and a lot of you chuckleheads, you remember that moment too. My gosh, had there been an internet or some form of social media, it would have been the biggest thing ever. That's what I want to talk about too. First off, though, when it comes to garage doors, I know you have choices. Let Knee-High Enterprises take care of your old squeaky McGee garage door system and replace it with a beautiful new upgrade. I'm talking doors that slide up and down with ease, baby dolls. I'm talking Knee-High Enterprises, over 40 years of experience in that business in customer satisfaction. Knee-High Enterprises, a beautiful Baker City. We got buy or sell coming up. Sweet, love it.
Winter, it's here for now, and being ready is a good idea. Your local Ace Hardware is your severe winter weather headquarters, here to help and equip you for anything that old man winter throws your way. Ice melt, tube sand, snow shovels, roof rakes, Toro and Craftsman snowblowers, lock de-icers, snow cleats, windshield wash, and ice scrapers for the car. You'll need it, and Ace has it. Faucet covers, heat cables, and more. Weatherize for winter now at Ace to save time and money. Only at Thatcher's Ace Hardware in Baker City and LeGrand Ace Hardware.
The Long Branch Bar and Eats has been feeding and refreshing its customers for quite some time. As far as breakfast goes, you can't beat the Long Branch for a filling plate of biscuits and gravy, bacon and eggs, hash browns, whatever. And if you've been there before, you know their prices beat anyone around. Next time you head out for breakfast, head to the LB, the Long Branch. And don't forget about the bar, a great place to relax and responsibly enjoy a cold, tasty beverage. The Long Branch Bar and Eats, located on Depot Street, right next to Benchwarmers Pub and Grill.
Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Family owned and managed, full service and selection furniture and mattress headquarters. American made quality styles in bedroom, mattress, living, dining room, and recliner selections. Visit the Sleep Center for latex pillow tops and new technologies like new hybrid varieties, therapeutic mattresses, and more. You can't miss the big red rocking chair on the roof, and you can't miss the savings. Financing, relaxation, and rest delivered to your home with Northwest Furniture and Mattress.
The current Northeast Oregon road conditions are as follows. On I-84, there are no road closures to report at this time. Clear roads are being reported in the Meacham and Cabbage Hill area, as well as the Ladd Canyon and Baker City areas too. There is a minimum chain restriction in effect, though. You are required to carry chains or traction tires regardless of current conditions. For more road condition updates, stay tuned throughout the day or visit tripcheck.com.
19.
Well, look at Mr. Push-Ups. What are we getting in shape for?
Selective service. 20.
Come again?
Selective service. You know, it's the law. We have to register when we turn 18.
Dude, no push-ups. You only need your mobile phone. You just have to register. There's no fitness.
Really?
No, you're not joining the military. It's just a database.
So...
Video games have trained your fingers enough. Just go to sss.gov and get registered.
That easy?
sss.gov.
I took the train up from Illinois. I was following through on a letter you sent. I always feel
Johnny Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers Pub and Grill coming back on a Bracket Monday with some Mason Jennings for everybody scoring at home. Good stuff there. Calls, emails, text messages, not too late to get in on our version of Buy or Sell today. Brought to you by Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto. We got a bunch in, so let's have some fun with this one. Again, as I said, brought to you by Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto for the best deal on tires and the best deal on automotive repair. AC service, batteries, belt hose, brake services, cooling systems, you name it. They kill it at Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto. Let's have some fun. Buy or sell. First up, shout out to the crew at Fat Guys. Love you guys. First up, buy or sell, Johnny. The Seattle Seahawks should sign Jordy Nelson. Look, if initially I'll say sell, okay? Just me, but not really into the mid-30-year-old wide receiver who might struggle to now get open. I've seen too many teams mistake on this. Who signed Eric Decker last year again? Who was it? Come again? Naga, not gonna work here anymore? Yeah, we've seen this too many times, man. That aging wide receiver that just can't get open anymore. Now, he didn't have a horrible year last year, Jordy. He caught like 70 balls for like 800 yards, a couple of teeters. It wasn't awful. I mean, hell, Amari Cooper, as a friend pointed out to me earlier today, Amari Cooper struggled last year in that Oakland Raider offense. He goes to Dallas and he's all-pro. Can I get a veteran minimum, a highly incentive-based deal, and I will buy this, and I'll tell the Seahawks, yeah, bring in Jordy Nelson. Give him an experienced pass receiver, a good touchdown guy, good red zone guy. I mean, that's going to be one of those weird ones, okay? Like Twilight Zone stuff. Like all of a sudden I'm watching a Seahawk game and I'm rooting for Jordy Nelson. Like, are you kidding me? Do you know how many times Jordy Nelson has made me drop an F-bomb in my living room? Lucky I don't have a Seahawks swear jar, man. Jordy Nelson would be responsible for like $50. Jordy Nelson has hurt the Hawks many times over the years of those great Packers-Seahawks games. He has. Now, could they get him? Look, if it's going to work out contractually, I guess I'll buy it. But with mega reservations, I don't know if he still gets open, man. You got to get open in that league, dude. Got to get open. Love it. Johnny, Boise State versus Oregon State on the women's bracket. Buy or sell. I think that's so fun. It's a rivalry game. If anybody knows the story of Destiny Slocum, the Oregon State Beaver All-American point guard, she's from Boise, Mountain View High School, right there next to Fat Guys. That's going to be a fun matchup. I'll tell you this, though. As well as the Boise State Bronco women's team has played the last couple of years, Oregon State's on a different level. Oregon State's a Final Four team. I think they win that game by over 20. Keep them coming. Buy or sell on a Monday. Next up, Johnny, UConn deserves a number 2 seed in the women's bracket. Buy or sell. What is this? We're getting all this women's basketball stuff? I love it. Keep them coming. You know what? I'm going to sell this. I don't know what their resume is, but to me, this seems like the committee trying to get cute on UConn. This is the first time since 2006 that UConn has not been a 1 seed in the women's tournament. Yes, 13 years. I'm just going to sell it because I like UConn. I do. I like Gino Auriemma. I like his attitude. I like how Gino, here's this dude who is pretty much the face of women's basketball, and it ticks a lot of people off. Look, I used to be in the women's basketball community. I got paid for it. I was a broadcaster in women's basketball. I heard a lot of stuff about Gino and UConn. I heard talk to people who knew him. And I'm a fan. Hopefully Gino uses it as motivation, but that's just funny. I just chuckle at that. UConn's a 2 seed. Go figure. Next one. Johnny, Tyreek Hill may never play again. Buy or sell. Holy smokes. I'm gonna sell. But if stuff comes out, new information, this could be an easy buy. Look, Tyreek Hill, the situation, we talked about it at length on Friday. Him and his fiance, girlfriend, mother of his child are under investigation. I believe his child was injured, and they're talking to mom and dad to find out what went on. And Tyreek Hill, dad, has a history of violence. I'll sell it for now, but man, that could be a very interesting one. Moving on, Johnny. Former Oregon Duck Haloti Ngata announced his retirement today. He will make the Hall of Fame. Buy or sell? This is going to be tough. I'm going to sell, but he should make it. I think Haloti Ngata is one of the best defensive players of his era. Certainly one of the best run-stopping, play-clogging defensive tackles you could maybe say in the last 50 years. Haloti Ngata. I'll tell you this. I talked to a buddy of mine. He played football at the University of Idaho. My friend did. That's where I went to school, okay? And this player, he was an offensive lineman. And I talked to my friend once, and I said, hey, dude, who's the toughest player you ever had to face? Tell me about it. And he's like, oh, dude, we played Oregon one year in Autzen, and I had to line up against Haloti Ngata like the entire game, and it was just embarrassing, man. He was just picking me up, throwing me around. I couldn't do anything. Like, he was, no question, the best player I've ever been on the field with, Haloti Ngata. And he had a long career, obviously. Couple of teams, mainly the Ravens there. Yeah. Is he, Haloti Ngata, I'll tell you this, one of the top 5 Ducks to ever play in the NFL. I'll give you that. You're talking a multiple Pro Bowl and all-pro guy, Haloti Ngata. Big Haloti Ngata fan. Hopefully has a great retirement. Sad to see him go. Haloti Ngata, former Duck, saying goodbye to football. Next one, buy or sell, Johnny. John Calipari should have more than 1 national championship at Kentucky. Buy or sell? I think you have to buy this, right? I hate doing this argument for someone when they have won a title and saying, yeah, well, you should have won more. Like discrediting Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers for just having the 1. I think all you need essentially is the 1, okay? I hate discrediting people for not winning more, but let's be honest. John Calipari has had this Kentucky gig now for a decade. They're a 1 or a 2 seed, what? Like 7, 8 times in that decade? And they've just won the 1. That was Anthony Davis, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. That team. That's the only one they have? Kind of odd, right? Or at least it was for me. Cauley Stein was on that team, or was he the next year? He might have came later. That was kind of odd for me. But yeah, Calipari probably should have more than 1 title. It could be this year. Could be this year, man. Next one, Johnny. Tyreek Hill will be suspended this coming season, buy or sell. Now, you don't say how long or for what. I will buy this. At some point in this season, I'm just going to buy right now that Tyreek Hill is going to be suspended. Now, fantasy owners, Chiefs fans, he has not been charged with anything. So as of right now, no, he ain't going to be suspended. He hasn't been charged. Look, a lot of parents, I've seen these stories. A lot of parents, their children have accidents, and CPS, Child Protective Services or whatever, will investigate mom and dad to find out what's going in the house. It happens all the time. And it doesn't mean that mom and dad are abusing their kids. A lot of times it means, yeah, little Declan actually did fall down the stairs, man, and bloodied his little eye. Little Declan did knock him, he's got a bruise here and there. And then when little Declan goes to school, teacher sees it. Declan, what happened? Oh, I don't know. Doesn't describe it in the right way. Teacher reports it. It happens. No, and hopefully that's the case. I don't know. But yeah, Tyreek Hill, I'll tell you this. Tyreek Hill, dude, he's lucky it's March Madness right now, and we ain't talking about him. He's lucky. Because if this would have been a slow week, everybody would be talking about Tyreek. But it's a bracket Monday. And it's like people don't want to talk about depressing stuff like Tyreek Hill's situation. They say, no, let's just talk about March Madness. And that's what they're doing. But I'll just buy it. Because I hope I'm wrong. Hope everything's okay. Next up, Johnny, the Ducks are the hottest team on the West Coast right now. Buy or sell. Oh, you stinking Duck fans, man. You guys are pumped for this, huh? The Oregon Ducks, in the middle of the night, go through the back door of the Pac-12 and sneak into the dance. And they get hooked up by being sent to San Jose, the closest place you could have sent them, to play a Wisconsin team that right now is just a 1-point favorite. Dude, Oregon's Dana Altman can flat out coach basketball. Anybody who follows Duck Hoops knows the power of Dana Altman. He is a sensational basketball coach. And yes, he has this team playing its best right now. Is Oregon hotter than Washington? Yes. Is Oregon hotter than Nevada? Yes. Are they hotter than Utah State? Yes. Are they hotter than Arizona State? Yes. The only team out west that you could, or are they hotter than Montana? Yes. There's not that many Western teams in the tournament for one. I'm naming them all for you right now. New Mexico State? Are they hot? Are Oregon hotter than them? I don't know. New Mexico State. But the only other team is Gonzaga. And Gonzaga lost the last game it played. I mean, I almost have to buy this thing. Sure, yeah. Oregon right now is the hottest team on the West Coast. That's all there is to it. Johnny, Russell Westbrook lost control Saturday versus Golden State, buy or sell. Russell Westbrook just ran into Klay Thompson purposely and gave him a hockey check. Did you see that? He was given a technical foul, which was his 16th technical of the season. He will now have to sit out one game. Blazer fan? Yeah, that's big. Blazer fan? You're in a pennant race, so to speak. You're in a wild card. You're in a seeding race. Blazers with Oklahoma City right now. And now Russell Westbrook's going to have to sit out a game? Hey, that's good for you. Look, Russell Westbrook's a hothead. But funny thing is we have a guest coming in next hour, Scott Garson, assistant basketball coach, Santa Clara University. Well, he was an assistant under Ben Howland at UCLA for a decade. He recruited and coached Russell Westbrook for 2 years when Russell was in college. Believe me, I got Westbrook questions for him tonight. This guy knows Westbrook as well as anybody who's ever been on our show. A personal relationship with him. A couple more. Johnny, I'm an idiot. I was going to say knit. Johnny, the NIT is dead. Buy or sell? Should I buy this? Should I just buy the death of the NIT? I don't want to. I'll tell you this. The NIT is good for me for one stinking thing. Gambling. That's the only thing the NIT is good for. I got a buddy named Gavin. He listens to this show all the time. He gambles on the NIT every year. And he actually says you can get better spreads picking NIT games than you can NCAA games because less people are paying attention to it. But the NIT, I'll tell you where the NIT, in my opinion, went wrong. They let a lot of little guys in. And no disrespect to the little team. The only problem, little guy, is we don't know who you are. The mainstream sports fan, we don't even pay that much attention to college basketball anyway, outside of March. So if you look at the NIT bracket, the new version of the NIT, where they have these new auto bids, because the NIT came back a few years ago and said, look, if you win your conference tournament, if you win your conference championship, but lose in your conference tournament, we'll reserve a spot for you at the NIT. They shouldn't have done that. For me, the NIT should be one big money grab, okay? The NIT should be the biggest schools left. Take them. Give me matchups on power conferences. Maybe you can gear more gamblers that way. Is it dead, though? Dude, it's pretty close, man. I might even just buy this. Yeah, the NIT is dead. You're not going to see me crying, whatever. Then they have the NIT, they have the CBI, and they have the CIT. There's a lot of tournaments now. Now, when it used to be just the NCAA and the NIT was a lot bigger. But over time, just the madness, the dance got so big, it just shriveled up the poor little NIT, dude. Because again, I'll pay attention to the NIT sometimes. And I remember watching when the Washington State Cougars, Klay Thompson, took the Cougars all the way to Madison Square Garden for the NIT Final Four, you know? I remember watching those games, and I watch the NIT Final Four sometimes. Dude, it's Madison Square Garden, which is awesome. But nobody goes. Nobody goes to the games. People in New York don't care about it. It's just one of those things. So yeah, it's probably pretty stinking close to being dead. Buy or sell. This whole Russell Wilson to the Giants is a real thing. I will buy this because I fully believe that his wife wants him to play in New York. His wife is saying, babe, I don't want to do 10 to 12 years more in Seattle. And that's what Russell's got. He's got 10 to 12 years left in his career. I fully believe that. He's going to go until he's 41, 42. So he's got 10 to 12 years left. And I think Sierra is saying, babe, hey, I'm making 5 times the money you're making. It's a lot easier for me to make my money, which is our real family money, living in New York or LA. You're probably not going to take over for Jared Goff. Maybe Phillip Rivers. That's a whole other deal. But this New York thing, Sierra wants to live in New York. And a lot of times, happy life, happy wife. Happy wife, happy life. So I will buy it. That still means, I'll tell you this, the Seahawks still going to have to let him go. Good luck seeing that happen, right? From their cold, dead hands. Are you taking Russell Wilson from him in his prime? Johnny, last one. This is finally the last year that the Cowboys go with Jason Garrett as head coach by herself. So you're saying Garrett's going to get fired after this year. For that to happen, it would be A, they miss the playoffs, B, they squeak into the playoffs and have an early exit. That's really the only scenarios. If the Cowboys go on a playoff run, dude, they're not getting rid of Garrett. They don't want to get rid of Garrett. That is obvious. They've had multiple situations and turns and chances and opportunities to fire Garrett, and they've never done it. So A, miss the playoffs. B, squeak in and fart around in the wild card round and be one and done. Maybe Garrett's gone. But I'm going to sell that. I think Garrett's there for a couple more years, man. Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto, Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Hercules, all kinds of tires, all kinds of sizes, all kinds of savings. They are 100% local business, man. They can work a deal with you. They don't have some big mega company over the top doing all their pricing. Go to Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto. See my boy JB. He'll get you the best possible deal he can. I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Who's grumpy? And on this day, what is it, March 18th? Oh, yeah. On this day. We got a good one today. We'll be back. Ballgame show. Benchwarmers Pub and Grill.
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In the Grand tonight, mostly clear skies with a low near 27 degrees. For tomorrow, plenty of sunshine and breezy conditions with a high near 57. In Baker City tonight, mostly clear conditions too, low of 31 degrees. And for tomorrow, sunny and breezy conditions with a high near 57. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grand Ronde Hospital. As one of Union County's largest private employers, we proudly support our local economy with stable family wage jobs.
Grand Ronde Hospital.
Hello, this is Jan.
Hi, can I save on a new Toyota?
Yes, with great deals now through April 1st, you can ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
I can't wait to get out. I've been watching way too much TV.
Oh yeah? What's on?
Game show. Anyway, I got this list of things I want to do this spring.
Bet I could name them.
Really? Our contestant Jan here is risking it all on this final question. Name the 3 things I can't wait to do.
Go camping in a RAV4.
Correct.
Road trip in a Camry.
Yes.
How about take a Tundra fishing?
Ooh, 1 strike left, Jan.
I'll say off-roading in a Tacoma.
Show me off-roading in a Tacoma.
Oh, I can't believe it. Hi, Mom.
Toyota, let's go places. Wherever your spring adventures take you, go there in a new Toyota. Get great limited time savings at your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
I'm online every day, so it just makes sense to do my banking online too. I can check my balances, transfer funds, and even pay bills all from my laptop. It's so easy. I don't even have to leave home.
Old West Federal Credit Union, a better way to bank. Federally insured by NCUA. Online at oldwestfcu.org.
You wouldn't buy a movie you haven't seen yet. You'd rent it first, then you'd buy later once you fall in love with it. That's why more and more folks who've never owned a self-propelled sprayer are leasing from Apache Sprayers. Apache Sprayers are outfitted with the latest precision technology, simple to operate and maintain, and downright affordable to own or lease. With annual loan payments starting at only $24,000, it's a blockbuster coming to a field near you. Talk to an Apache Sprayers dealer in your area or visit apachesprayers.com/leasing for full pricing details.
Every year, like clockwork, we get to experience history being made with March Madness. And every day, no matter the time of year, you can experience legendary refreshment with Pepsi. Pepsi has your favorites like Sierra Mist, Mug Root Beer, Mountain Dew, Kickstarts, Bang energy drinks, and of course, the timeless, refreshing taste of straight-up Pepsi. So kick back, drink up, and enjoy the 2019 Pepsi Bracket Challenge. Brought to you by Pepsi Cola Bottling Company of Eastern Oregon.
Johnny Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Happy Bracket Monday to everybody. And I'm telling you, dude, if you're not at least trying somehow, some way to finagle your way out of a Thursday or Friday shift, then, dude, you're not putting enough elbow grease into that one, man. You're not going after this thing hard enough. Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. My opinion. You got, which day are you taking off? Let me ask you this. What's the best day to take off? Because I've had people ask me that. Johnny, should I take opening Thursday off or should I take that Friday off and get the 3-day weekend? For me, it's Friday. Get the 3-day weekend off. Or, get the 3-day weekend off. Get into that tournament. That way Friday you can get nice and messy. Stay up real late. Thursday, figure out a way to take a long lunch. Figure out whatever you have to do on Thursday to maintain. And I get you. But if I had my choice, if I could only get one of those first 2 days off, I guess I'd do Friday and make it a 3-day weekend, right? That way you can stay up big time late on Thursday. You get off work. You still get the wave of games at night on Thursday night. Stay up late with your buddies, analyzing everything, and then you got all Friday, all Saturday, and all Sunday. If you're working all weekend, man, I'm sorry, dude. If you're like, dude, Ballgame, I'm working all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and all day Friday. That's a bite, man. That's a tough one. We're going to get to Who's Grumpy today, brought to you by Grumpy's Repair. I got a good one. But first, I want to say that the facts that revitalized the sports world is what they're calling it on the Undefeated. On this date, and I remember it was March 18th. I was a sophomore in high school. I remember it. It was very interesting. It was very emotional. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I'm at school and somebody told me and I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. No, stop it. No way. No way. But on this date, 1995, what'd they call it? The facts that revitalized the sports world. It was 2 words. 2 words on a facsimile piece of paper that changed everything and got stuff going again. Restored order. What were those 2 words? Very simple. I'm back. Not an Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. No. Just simple. I'm back. And that fax came from Michael Jeffrey Jordan to the NBA league office in New York City, announcing that he was done pursuing baseball. Nah, it's over. He's playing basketball again, and the Bulls were almost finished for the season. I mean, they only had 15, 16 games left. And I will never forget it. I'll tell you this. This is how big Michael was. When I heard about this, when I heard Michael was coming back, and I heard about, the facts and whatnot, I got my buddies together and we went out and we played basketball. I want to say it was on a Saturday that Michael said this, and the game he was going to play was on a Sunday. I'll never forget Market Square Arena, Indiana Pacers, Reggie Miller. That was the team. And it was like, and all of a sudden, all the media members had to get to Indiana because Michael Jordan was back. March 18th, 1995. Yep, sophomore in high school. And it was like, okay, it counts again. This is a big deal. And the Bulls didn't win the title that year. They lost in the second round of the playoffs to Shaq and Penny. As everybody remembers, the following year, though, Michael was on an insane mission. They went 72-10, beat my Sonics in 6 games in the finals. But that changed everything with Michael coming back. And had there been social media, any form, Twitter, Facebook, the Gram, any form of social media, had there been an internet, it would have blown it up. Like Twitter would have stopped. It would not have been able to keep up with the massive amount of tweets coming every millisecond. I went back and looked at what Michael did that day. If LeBron did this, you'd kill him, but I'll give him a pass. He hadn't played basketball in a year and a half. He comes back and he goes 7 for 28. How about that? 7 for 28. He finished with 19 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. Still a pretty darn good game. Scotty led the way with 31 in a losing effort. Reggie Miller, my man Reg. Reggie had 28 points that game. Shot 12 threes. You could go back and talk to Reggie about that one, because I guarantee you Reggie Miller remembers that all too well. Michael announced, I'm back. They're playing Indiana. I want to say it was like a weekend, because I remember calling a bunch of my buddies saying, hey, let's go play basketball. Let's go play basketball. Let's go play basketball. So we went to a park and played. And I remember doing that because, dude, Michael came back, and it's like I wanted to play basketball. It's like sometimes I know people, when they watch golf, it makes them want to go golf. Same deal. You know, you watch the Masters, you're like, God, I want to go golf, man. I want to get out there. You're watching all that much. But yeah, on this date, March 18th, 1995, the facsimile heard across the sports world, I'm back. Jordan dropping the baseball bat, picking up a basketball. This was the first of Michael's 2 retirements with the Bulls, just if you're scoring at home. Who's grumpy? Coming up next.
Salt. It's great for popcorn and french fries, and during winter on icy roads. But there's a downside. Salt, it's not good for your vehicle. Hi, this is Arnie at Island Express. I recommend a weekly car wash with our undercarriage jet spray to help protect your vehicle during the winter. Wash the road salt off your vehicle weekly and underspray at no extra charge, just extra value. And don't miss Double Punch Tuesdays. Clean and protect now at Island Express Lube and Car Wash.
Believe it or not, spring is almost here. While all those outside projects are still falling out, it's a perfect time to work inside your home. It's a home makeover sale at Carpet One Floor and Home. Find great deals on all types of flooring store-wide, including the softer, stronger Tigressa carpet. We have great new colors of in-stock tile and vinyl plank, laminate, and more. With 18-month financing OAC, now's the perfect time to get your home makeover done. A home makeover sale is just what you've been waiting for, now through the end of March at Carpet One Floor and Home in LeGrand, Baker City, and Enterprise. Beautiful, made affordable.
The current Northeast Oregon road conditions are as follows. On I-84, there are no road closures to report at this time. Clear roads are being reported in the Meacham and Cabbage Hill area, as well as the Ladd Canyon and Baker City areas, too. There is a minimum chain restriction in effect, though. You are required to carry chains or traction tires regardless of current conditions. For more road condition updates, stay tuned throughout the day or visit tripcheck.com.
Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers, Pub and Grill. Excited to have everybody with us. We do this every Monday, brought to you by JR and the crew that's hiring at Grumpy's Repair. They're looking for ASE certified techs. They give medical, dental, vision, and retirement salary depending on experience. Get to Grumpy's Repair on H Street in Baker City, right off I-84. Let's go ahead and tell you in the sports world today, hey, who's grumpy? I'll start this thing off, and I'm going to say, okay, all you folks who said football had no business in the springtime and that nobody would care, and Johnny, you're a yahoo for even talking about this alliance bull crap and bull crud, and this isn't going to work. Yeah, you guys are grumpy right now. Okay, all you retreads who told me that it wasn't going to work with spring football. Yeah, I get it. You're grumpy. We're still going to go there. And welcome. Hello, Heisman. Johnny Manziel was on the field today practicing as the newest member of the Memphis Express. Bill Polian, head of the Alliance of American Football and Hall of Fame general manager, said this: "We are pleased to welcome Johnny Manziel to the Alliance of American Football, which we've always described as a league of opportunity for talented players to launch or revitalize their pro careers." This is the league for Johnny Manziel. And he was there practicing, looking good in his new uniform. That Memphis Express, they got sweet unis. If I could have any jacket, I want a starter coat, the silk kind, Memphis Express. Those things are bitchin'. Love them. But you guys, oh, football won't work. Nope, not going to happen in the spring. Sorry, Johnny. No, it's working. And you know why? It's not just the fact that they got Johnny Manziel, but this is what they need to do. You get the Manziels, you get the Tebows, you get really big names, man. You just do. This is entertainment. This is sexy. You got to get big. You do, man. Anyway, TNT just recently made the announcement that they're going to pick up 2 more games, 2 extra games to air on national television. TNT. Okay, now this is during the time TNT's all basketball, right? They're doing March Madness. They're doing the rush to the NBA playoffs. They're doing NBA playoffs. And now TNT's like, yeah, we'll pick up 2 more AAF games. Okay, if these games weren't working, if nobody was watching these, TNT, a network like that, wouldn't pick the games up. I'm telling you. They're seeing the ratings. They're liking what they're seeing. They're saying, oh, we could have Johnny Manziel playing on a Saturday night. Oh, that's going to draw some type of mark. Are you kidding me? I will watch this. I'm going to watch Johnny Manziel for the AAF. Of course I am. I might not watch it live. I'm DVRing it. Like, I'm going to pay attention. Not only that, but CBS announced last week they're going to take 2 games off CBS Sports Network, and they're going to air them on CBS. Think about that. If the league was a total flame-out bust, CBS wouldn't be airing it. You're talking, they got the Masters coming up. They have March Madness games. CBS. They have the, right? And no, they want to air more AAF on the Mega channel. Not on their Sportsnet channel, which is what, DirecTV channel 221? No. They're airing games on DirecTV channel. What's regular CBS? What's that, channel 2? So that's a big deal for the Alliance. TNT and CBS are saying, no, we're going to air these games. And Johnny Manziel, today was his first day of practice. It was reported by TMZ. Of course it was. TMZ's like, they stake out Johnny Manziel. Wherever he goes, he's got TMZ folks following him. He has to. But no, he was practicing today. So I love it. Brought to you by Grumpy's Repair. That's who's grumpy on a Monday. Here's the news.
Eastern Oregon's home for news, talk, weather, and sports. This is KLBM LeGrand and KBKR Baker City. Super Talk Radio, the talk of Eastern Oregon.
New Zealand attack, Trump tweets. I'm Ann Cates. The investigation continues into the shooting rampage at 2 New Zealand mosques that left 50 people dead. Correspondent Martin Savage reports the probe is wide-ranging.
New Zealand has gathered together the largest investigative force it has ever put together in its history. It's also relying on international partners, including the FBI. The authorities here say they can confirm that the gunman acted alone in the attack. What they cannot say for sure is whether or not that gunman had any assistance leading up to the attack, logistically or financially.
President Trump has been taking to Twitter a lot and drew reaction from the husband of White House advisor Kellyanne Conway. Correspondent Abby Phillip.
Often these tweets come as a surprise even to White House aides. They don't know when or what the president is going to be tweeting before he tweets it. But so far, the White House hasn't responded to some of the concerns being raised by people like George Conway about what these tweets mean and what they show about the president's mental state and psychological state. Those were the words that George Conway used in his tweet.
The U.S. Supreme Court agrees to hear a case next term that challenges whether one of the D.C. snipers should get a new sentence.
Lee Boyd Malveaux was 17 years old when he and 41-year-old John Allen Muhammad murdered 10 people and wounded several others in the 2002 random sniper attacks that terrorized the Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. area. Muhammad was executed in 2009. Malveaux was sentenced to life in prison without parole. He later challenged his sentence after the Supreme Court ruled mandatory life without parole was unconstitutional for most juvenile offenders. Malveaux won, but the prison's warden is appealing, and that puts the case squarely in the hands of the Supreme Court. Lindy Kenyon, Washington.
Wall Street advanced today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up 65 points. The S&P 500 gained 10. The Nasdaq up by 26 points. I'm Ann Cates.
It's amazing but true. When it comes to one of America's biggest household expenditures, healthcare, a lot of people think they've got no choice. People are used to thinking we have to do it this way, but they don't. Yes, you have the freedom to choose an alternative with your healthcare. It's MediShare, and it costs way less than the alternatives. The typical family saves $500 a month, not a year, a month. And if you're single, this can save you a lot too. And let's face it, a big reason MediShare is 400,000 people strong, it just works. They've shared over $3 billion in medical bills, so they can help share your needs too. Joining MediShare for so many people is one of those things that makes you say, why didn't I do this before? So yes, the time has come for something better. Look into joining MediShare and see why so many people are opting out of the old way and into the new. Why not look into this? Just call 844-91-BIBLE. That's 844-91-BIBLE. 844-91-BIBLE.
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In LeGrand tonight, mostly clear skies with a low near 27 degrees. For tomorrow, plenty of sunshine and breezy conditions with a high near 57. In Baker City tonight, mostly clear conditions too, low of 31 degrees. And for tomorrow, sunny and breezy conditions with a high near 57. This weather forecast is brought to you by LeGrand Gold and Silver, family owned and managed for over 35 years. Your trusted local experts for fine jewelry and precious metals. Shop LeGrand Gold and Silver's full line of quality jewelry, gifts, and coins, and find the perfect gift that will be cherished for a lifetime.
I'm here at the year's hottest stag pool party.
Put your antlers up!
Where? Some poor guy's backyard. These stags are bringing down the house. Seriously, deer are ripping holes in the pool cover. They're trampling patio furniture. And all the damage was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Stag Pool Party, October 27th, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
See your local Farmers Insurance agent, Greg Blackman, in LeGrand.
This is Damian Lillard of your Trailblazers. I believe it's on us to make sure kids have places to play. With the Motor Assist program, every Blazer assist on the court leads to better places to play in our community. Because the next assist can start a movement in a young person's health, attitude, and life.
Dame throws a pass far side McCollum, a three on the way. Ring it up!
Baker City, join the movement. Vote now at trailblazers.com/assist for your Geyser Pullman Park to receive the donation to build an all-abilities playground.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care. I ever get back, so let's root for the home team. They don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The Johnny Ballgame.
Welcome back. Hour number 3, 5 o'clock on a Monday. One of those short work weeks if you're loving your college basketball, like I know a lot of you guys do, in fact, love. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. You know, I love this time of year, and everybody knows that. If they watch this show, I mean, you're talking NFL, getting ready for that season, getting ready for the college football season. Obviously, I love that one as well. But not much here for me beats March Madness this time of year. You know, best 4 days of the year. You could say the best 4-day weekend in sports upon us now. And again, I'm super pumped. I want everybody, by the way, make sure, get to my website, JohnnyBallGameShow.com, and sign up for the Pepsi Bracket Challenge. We got really cool prizes. We're working on even cooler prizes coming for you. It's free. Doesn't cost you any money to get in this bracket challenge. Go to my website, JohnnyBallGameShow.com, and it's right there on the front page. You click on that sucker and participate in the Pepsi Bracket Challenge. Big thanks to Eric and the crew for our local Eastern Oregon Pepsi bottling distribution place. I love those guys down there, and I know I probably butchered that, but Pepsi Bottling Co. of Eastern Oregon, they do a terrific job every year sponsoring our Pepsi Bracket Challenge. And next time you're gonna get a soda, if you love the ball game show, get a Pepsi. Appreciate you. Gosh, Scott Garson this hour, and this is gonna be fun because here's a guy who's been to 3 Final Fours as an assistant coach. Been to the tournament countless times with the University of Utah under coach Rick Majerus, who's a legend. And with UCLA, he went to 3 consecutive Final Fours as a member of Ben Howland's staff when Howland was at UCLA for a very successful decade. UCLA's at rock bottom right now. Okay, they haven't been UCLA since they fired Ben Howland. That was a dumb move, UCLA. That was stupid. You haven't been UCLA since, and now what are you going to do? You're hiring again. Who are you going to get? Who's going there? UCLA, we need you in the Pac-12. UCLA, you need to be on a bracket line somewhere every year if you're UCLA. Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Brought to you by MJ Goss Motors here on a Monday. Let's have some fun with this one. Your top story, Goss Motors style. You know, I've said it was dark out. I've said the doors were left unlocked somehow. It was nighttime, and it was through the back end of the place, the back door. The Oregon Ducks are in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Go stinking figure. I mean, if that's not March Madness, I don't know what is. Oregon had an up-and-down year, more down than up after Bull was left on the shelf for the remainder of the season. Dana Altman's a heck of a coach. And Oregon was probably looking CBI or NIT if they even wanted to play postseason this year. Those were the tournaments that would have called the Ducks, okay? I love Bill Walton, but him on the call saying that Oregon was a bubble team was insane. Oregon was not going to the dance. The Pac-12 didn't have a bubble team, really. You had UW, and I guess Arizona State was certainly a bubble team. They had one. But I'm trying to make fun of the conference. The Pac-12 didn't have much this year. They didn't have a whole lot of bubble teams. And Oregon came through and won the Pac-12 tournament over the weekend, solidifying their spot in the dance. And good for the Ducks. This is good for the Pac-12. Hopefully they can win a couple games. I think Washington and Utah State is an absolute coin flip. That game's in Columbus, Ohio, by the way. So it's tough traveling for both teams. Going to be an interesting game. Utah State, I think, is favored by 2.5. That's the 8-9 game in the Midwest. Utah State's the 8. And then Oregon, they get a 12 seed, which, 12 seeds are kind of the lucky number 11 now, aren't they? 12 seeds, like, you can win there. What is it? I don't know, 20 years in a row, at least one 12 seed is advanced. We've had years where 3 of the 4 12 seeds advanced. Oregon, you're a 12 seed. Who do you play on? Wisconsin. You're talking a Badger team since going to the championship game a couple years ago has been down as a program. They got back up this year, to their credit. Both teams, Oregon and Wisconsin, have about the same record. Obviously, Wisconsin probably has a better resume. They're in a better league, deservedly so. That's why Wisconsin is a 5 seed. But do you think Wisconsin's excited? You think Wisconsin fans are excited that they got Oregon as a 12? There's no chance in hell they're excited about this. Have you seen the other 12s? I mean, they're mid-majors, basically, the other 12 seeds. They're not like a mega brand power like the Oregon Ducks are. I mean, 12 seeds, Liberty. 12 seeds, Murray State. And again, I like these teams. I'm just saying. 12 seed, New Mexico State. Those are the other 12s. And then you have Oregon there. I mean, Oregon, if you've been to the facility like I have, you get it. There's nothing mid about Oregon. That is a major athletic program. They pay all their bills. They have the nicest of the nice. Their facilities get an A, okay? A+, you could probably argue. Oregon typically isn't a 12 seed. So no, in my opinion, if I'm a Wisconsin fan, I'd much rather be playing New Mexico State. Heck, Murray State, don't get me wrong, John Morant, that kid might be the second player taken in the draft. I probably don't want to play him. And a lot of people are digging on Liberty. But the best thing about Oregon, and this is my top story, brought to you by MJ Goss Motors, they sent him to San Jose. Like, that is such a present for an Oregon fan. You guys, I've been following this bracket a long time. Hell, we all have. I'm not trying to say I'm so much smarter than you about this. I'm not. Fine. But a big part of this thing is where you go, not who you get, but where you are. Don't make a team travel clear across the country to play a game in a weird time zone. A lot of times that messes you up. And I would imagine you're going to see the Duck Nation, which is a big fan base. I'm sure there's a lot of Ducks that already live in the Bay Area. Wisconsin, huge fan base as well. Don't get me wrong. Heck, this is a rematch of, what would it be, the 2011-2012 Rose Bowl? Remember Oregon versus Wisconsin, Russell Wilson? Ducks beat them barely. Great game. Remember that Rose Bowl? Darren Thomas versus Russell Wilson. Great Rose Bowl. Great Rose Bowl. I watched that at Benchwarmers. But this is a fun matchup. And you get a mega powerful program on the 12 line because they underachieved in the regular season, did Oregon. They found their way a couple of weeks ago, and they got it going. And there is not a hotter basketball team on the West Coast right now than the Oregon Ducks. And that includes Gonzaga. That includes anybody in the Pac-12. That includes Nevada and Utah State. Utah State's hot too. But Oregon got sent to San Jose. That's drivable for Duck fans in Eugene. What's a Bay Area drive? What are you looking at? 8 hours? That's not that bad if you're going down for a big weekend. Or, okay, fine, you don't want to drive. I get you. Fly. It's an hour flight, 52-minute flight from either Eugene to San Jose or Portland to San Jose. That's not a bad flight. That's what I think, they really hooked the Ducks up on. Could you imagine if they would have had him play, they would have given him a 12 seed, but they would have sent him to Hartford, Connecticut? Can you imagine they would have sent him to Connecticut? That would have been crazy. That's the whole country away. No, they sent him to San Jose. No, the Ducks got a nice draw, and in round 2, they get the winner of the K-State UC Irvine game. I like K-State, respect the heck out of them, but I don't fear them. Oregon could beat Kansas State in a basketball game in San Jose. I fully believe that. It's going to be hard for me to not look like Homer Simpson and have the Ducks in the Sweet 16 playing Virginia. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I might kind of like the chances there too. If there's a 1 seed that I don't trust, it's UVA. Hell, I just saw them also last year as a 1 seed get embarrassed like no other team has been embarrassed in this tournament, becoming the one and only 1 seed to lose to a 16. UVA last year. And I don't want to be counting my Ducks before they're hatched or anything, but if you just look at the Duck draw, that's a good draw for a 12 seed. That's a good draw for a team that would not have made the tournament without winning its own conference tournament. The Ducks would be in the NIT, the NIT, not in the tournament. And now they're there, and I think they can do a little bit of damage. Look at the point spread. What's Vegas telling you? They don't know either, because right now Wisconsin is a 1-point favorite. In a 5-12 game, Wisconsin, the 5 seed, is favored by 1 point. That's like a pick 'em. Vegas doesn't know either. So they got a pretty decent draw there. Like, good for them. Go Ducks, I guess. Hey, my Huskies, they got sent to Columbus, Ohio. For the Huskies, I wanted to go to 2 places. I wanted my Huskies to either go to San Jose or Salt Lake City. Those are the top 2 destinations for Western teams. Nope. The Huskies got Columbus, Ohio. That's the Eastern time zone. Now, luckily for the Huskies, Utah State, their opponent, got sent there too. Utah State's not necessarily a neighbor to Columbus either. But a lot of it, and pay attention to that. Where are they playing the game? Where is this thing? Who's going to have more fans? Who's going to be able to travel? You know, like a game that makes me nervous. A lot of people are saying, Johnny, Gonzaga, round 2. Look out. They could lose to Syracuse there. And whoever says that is right. First off, anybody can lose in this thing. It's a nightmare. It's completely stressful. But yeah, I just saw Gonzaga lose to Syracuse in what was that? Was that the Sweet 16 a couple of years ago? Rough game. They puked that away. They had Sabonis. Oh, they puked that game away. Anyway. How many fans from Syracuse are going to travel to Salt Lake City? Might have some. Yeah, Syracuse is big time. Okay? How many Zags are going to travel from Spokane to Salt Lake City? You kidding me? They're going to paint that town Zag blue and red and throw in a little white, I guess. I mean, that whole town, Salt Lake City, is going to be Zag U for that weekend. As big a program as Pittsburgh is. I'm sorry, as Syracuse is. Or as Baylor could be. That arena in Salt Lake City is going to be all pro Gonzaga. And that's big. Like Duke every year. Duke doesn't have to cross the Mason-Dixon line to play in this tournament. Where's Duke right now? They're in Columbia, South Carolina. And if they win the first 2 rounds, they'll go to Washington, D.C. for the regionals. Durham, North Carolina to our nation's capital. What's that, less than an hour drive? Duke doesn't have to hop on a plane until they go to Minneapolis for the Final Four, if they go that far. Think about that. Duke won't hop on a plane for the first 2 weeks of this thing. That's big. That's a big factor. And the Ducks got a good draw. 12 versus Wisconsin in San Jose. I would think that Oregon's going to have more fans at that game than Wisconsin, and they could have a lot more fans at that game than Wisconsin. I don't know how Duck Nation's going to show out and turn out for this team. I don't know. I mean, Oregon fan, you were kind of looking at spring football, weren't you? Kevon Thibodeau coming in. You got your new defensive coordinator, Andy Avalos, coming from Boise State. And all of a sudden, Duck fans have to put this big brake on, pull the emergency brake up too, spin out a little bit, and then, oh crap, get back down into drive and head back to Matthew Knight Arena for basketball. Wait, are we doing basketball this year or what? I mean, Duck fans put away this team. Rightfully so. There wasn't much to cheer about when Bull got hurt for the year. And then they rally in that Pac-12 tournament, go through the back door in the middle of the night. Nobody heard them coming, and they win the darn thing. And here they are dancing. A pretty cool weekend for Duck fans. Blazers tonight against the Pacers, 7:30. That's going on a local front, too. If you're deciding what you're going to do with the next 35, 40 minutes, let me just say, spend it here with me because I have a money interview coming in 20 minutes. My boy Scott Garson, he's an assistant basketball coach at Santa Clara. They're in the WCC. They play Gonzaga. They play St. Mary's, that conference. He used to coach at UCLA and Utah. He's been to the NCAA tournament 10 times. He's been to 3 Final Fours. He's a terrific guest. And he's coming on to talk all things tournament and basketball and whatnot. That's going to be a killer interview with Scott Garson, courtesy of the Farmers Insurance Hotline. I can open it up, 541-963-4122. Where are you at on this Monday? What am I forgetting to say? Is there an upset here? Are you screaming at your radio? Johnny, no. Johnny, no. What is it? Let me know. Farmers Insurance Hotline, 541-963-4122. Plenty of stuff here left on this show. Got the Warriors on right now in San Antonio. It's tough for me to do a lot of NBA this week, though, right? I mean, it's tough. I'm looking at brackets. I'm trying to figure out who's going to upset which team. Trying to find out which locations I like. I'm starting to look at point spreads. Which games am I going to put my hard-earned money on? I don't have a lot of money, but the money I have, man, I work so hard for being on the radio like this. Oh, man. I'm in a coal mine over here. In a coal mine, working my tail off. No, I'm gonna make some bets. Last year, my bracket was toast after the first weekend. Toast, dude. Like I honestly ripped it up. But I won gambling. I won like $300 or $400 opening weekend. I hit a couple of big parlays, so I was happy. And for me, look, if my bracket's doing well, great, lovely. But for me, am I making money on this thing? That's number one for me. That's number one. Ichiro. Anybody know what his batting average is this spring training? Where are you with this? The Mariners are opening the baseball season early Wednesday morning in Tokyo against Oakland. And Scott Service says Ichiro's going to be in the lineup. How do you feel about that? That's where we're going next.
Grumpy's Repair in Baker City should be the first place you take your vehicle regardless of the issue, and here's why. Grumpy's provides professional quality service by trained professionals using only the best quality replacement parts. In fact, every auto technician that works for Grumpy's is certified by the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. And JR, better known as Grumpy, wouldn't have it any other way. When you use the best techs and the best in quality replacement parts, you end up with the best service. Grumpy's Repair in Baker City.
Garage door stopped working? Better get it fixed. Knee-High Enterprises specializes in the installation of garage doors and garage door openers, both residential and commercial. Greg Pointer and his crew will get the job done right. They are currently serving Baker, Union, Wallowa, Grant, and Malheur counties. Located on 10th and Broadway in Baker City. 541-523-6008. Knee-High Enterprises. Big enough for the big jobs, small enough to care.
A time of loss is a time for families to gather together for strength and comfort.
It was a sudden loss for all of us.
Fortunately, we had each other.
You have us as well. With a range of choices and services available, we've been helping families through their time of loss for generations. Daniel's Chapel of the Valley, serving the family for generations.
Daniel's Knopp Funeral, Cremation, and Life Celebration Center on 7th Street in LeGrand.
Hey, Eastern Oregon. I'm America's Digital Pro, Kim Commando. Join me Saturday morning at 8 o'clock right here on Super Talk 1450 and 1490 AM. Of course, I take all your questions and we talk about everything digital. The internet, smartphones, how to avoid getting scammed online, and those data breaches. Join me for the Kim Commando Show on Super Talk Radio, brought to you by EONI, your choice for a superior connected experience. Fast, local, and reliable. EONI, the internet done right.
Hey, little girl, I wanna be your boyfriend.
Johnny Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers, Pub and Grill. Big guest coming up in about 15 minutes. Assistant basketball coach for Santa Clara University, Scott Garson. A familiar name around these parts. He was, for about 5 years, the head men's basketball coach at the College of Idaho. Took them to a Fab Four last year in the NAIA tournament before going back to the D1 route. He'll join us a little later. We'll take your calls on the Farmers Insurance Hotline, 541-963-4122. Okay, let's get to, and it's crazy to think, but early Wednesday morning, late tomorrow night, there's going to be a Major League Baseball game that counts. Regular season from Tokyo. Seattle Mariners, Oakland A's. Now, did you see the throw Ichiro had from right earlier today? There was a runner on second who was considering tagging up. Ichiro caught the ball, right field, obviously on the fly. Crow hopped into that son of a, and on a line, threw it to third baseman Ryan Healy, who had to pause. When you look at the video, watch Ryan Healy. Like, he has this holy flipping shnikes moment where he just caught that ball from Ichiro like, are you kidding me? That 45-year-old man just threw that laser to me? It was a Gold Glove play. And despite his struggles at the plate, Mariner manager Scott Service said he's going to play him. Ichiro Suzuki, and I quote from Scott Service, Ichiro is going to start for us the first game of the season against the A's. He's playing fine in the outfield. Obviously, he showed plenty of arm strength tonight on that one throw to third base. He'll start the game, and we'll see how it plays out from there. I'm excited for him. It hasn't been a great spring training for him offensively, but if there's anybody who can turn it on for a few days, it's certainly Ichiro. This is kind of what I have a problem with. Ichiro is hitting .080 at the plate spring training. He's hitting 20 points fewer than 100. Like Mendoza is looking at Ichiro's stats and saying, why isn't it called the Ichiro line? Why the Mendoza line? Can I get off the hook now? That's how poor Ichiro is playing. And Mariner fan, you're okay with this? A 45-year-old charity case? So sad that I have to say that, but I don't find another way. Look, yes, it's a really nice gesture. Let Ichiro play in Japan. He couldn't do this a couple of years ago because he had already been traded to the Yankees, and he wasn't on the roster back in 2012. But he wasn't on the roster last year. He got cut. He got released because he couldn't hit. He couldn't play anymore. Now he's on the roster again. Not only is he on the roster, Mariner fan, he's starting in right field in a game that counts. So is that what we're doing from day one? Is this season just a throwaway? Some Ichiro farewell tour? He's hitting 80. 080. Anyway, I'm not a huge fan. Look, he played today in the Tokyo Dome exhibition game. Can't that be enough? Can it be enough? He played, he put on a show. It's been awesome. Can't it be enough? He's played a couple of exhibition games. That's, for me, all he should be doing. Ichiro, and I love the guy. This is hard for me. It really is. I stinking love Ichiro. You kidding me? I love that dude. But he shouldn't be on the team. He hurts them. He's not good enough to play. I'm frustrated here. I got to take calls on this. I got to let you guys talk on this. Farmers Insurance Hotline, let's go to it. Caleb, you're up first, my friend. I know we disagree on this issue, which is great. It's fine. I love the disagreement. You got the floor. You heard what I said. Ichiro, he's starting Wednesday morning, Caleb. Go for it, bro. Welcome.
He's playing my beloved A's. I am wearing a Mariners hat right now, and you know which one it is. Pitchfork M. I love the hat. And mad respect to the Mariners. Mad respect to the Mariners. They're honoring Japanese greatest baseball player to come over and play in the MLB.
Is he the greatest player? Okay, Sadahara O. Is it Sad?
I give O the best.
Sadahara O has over 800 home runs, all in the Japanese league. He is considered the Japanese Babe Ruth. I'll give you Sadahara O also, although he never had one at-bat in the big leagues. Ichiro's going to the Baseball Hall of Fame in this country. Hideki Matsui, get a lot of respect, but okay, I get what you're going there. Ichiro, if he's not the best, he's second best Japanese player of all time. I get it.
Correct. At least, but to come over and play in America, I think he's the best player. Because Sadahara O, hands down, like you said, the Gibson of Japanese home runs. You like what I did there? You know I'm going.
Totally,
anyway,
man. Yeah.
But so I love what they're doing. Is it a money grab? Maybe. But to let all those fans get excited for Major League Baseball, and you might even pick up some more Major League Baseball fans in Japan. You know, when Ichiro came over, you went to games, and you guys still go to games, and there's still Japanese language people walking around to help Japanese people that come to watch games. It was huge.
They were doing, dude, SeaTac Airport was doing like these straight flights from Seattle to Japan. Like, it was Ichiro Mania 01, and the team won 116 games. He was cool looking. He had the shades. He had the arm. No one knew anything about him. He was flying down to first base. He had a batting swing, a stance that nobody had ever seen before. Like, who the hell is this alien? I don't know, but I flippin' love him. It was great.
He was Pete Rose in a skinny body.
Yeah,
Ichiro hustle.
Totally. That was like 20 years ago, though, man. I'm still tipping my cap for this guy over. Look, they couldn't have just done it with the exhibition game, and that could have been the end of it today. Like they had.
What it is, dude, the Japanese culture where they honor the elderly, they are giving him the utmost respect and letting him play in a meaningful game. And are you going to be surprised if he goes 3 for 4?
Yes. Right?
I would be too, but he could do it.
Come on, I mean, don't I have to be surprised if he has a mega day at the plate? Like, you can slap me sideways if that's the case, and I'm wrong on this, and say the Mariners win the game on a bottom of the ninth Ichiro slap shot down the third baseline or something, and he scores.
And he hustles it out.
Something like that. Like, I mean, if I'm gonna stay up till 5 a.m. watching this damn thing, hopefully something like that happens. But I'll tell you this: Ichiro won't play all 9 innings. I think he gets 1, maybe 2 at bats, and that's probably it. I'm probably overreacting, but even on that, I mean, the Mariners are compromising their regular season here. They're compromising the best 9 that they can put out there to let Ichiro have this moment in Japan. And it's awfully nice of them. I'll just say that. That's awfully nice of the Mariners to stick and do this. And if Ichiro is one of these yahoos that's going to go into the Hall of Fame and say, hey, I want my cap blank, nothing, because I played for a bunch of teams. I don't want a logo on my cap. I'm going to be furious on this. This means
he's going in as an M, dude.
This means this, right? Like Mike, I don't know if you saw, Roy Halladay, I totally understand. First off, that wasn't Roy Halladay's decision. He's been dead for a few years now. Rest in peace, the great Doc Halladay. His wife is making the decision. She doesn't want a logo on the hat. She wants to honor both the teams he pitched for. Great. Mike Mussina, longtime Oriole, longtime Yankee. He's doing the same thing. Hey, I don't want a logo on my bill, on my brim. I don't want a logo. I want a blank hat. It's like the new thing that everybody's doing, and I hope Ichiro doesn't do this. The Mariners doing this for Ichiro, okay? This should staple that. This should put a stamp on that. Ichiro, when he goes into the Hall of Fame, is the first Japanese-born position player. He's going to have that Mariner S on that hat, right?
If the M's didn't put that in his 2-day contract to play 2 games in Tokyo, they're idiots. I mean, there's no organization that's done this. I mean, honestly, for a lot of players, like what the Mariners have done for Ichiro, look, they cut him last year, and Ichiro didn't want to leave, so they didn't make him. They made him a special assistant. He still put his damn uniform on every day, and he ran out to the mound after they won home games and did the victory high five. Like they cut the guy, and he's like, I don't really want to go. I mean, it's like, okay, well, just hang around then, I guess, whatever. You're Ichiro, you're a legend. We're going to retire your number. You're going to the Hall of Fame. Hang around, help the guys out, I guess. But that team, that organization has done a lot for Ichiro, and I'll just tell you this, I'm going to be mad if your stinking A's sweep this 2-game series and the Mariners are more concerned about getting Ichiro an opportunity to tip his cap to his homeland than winning actual real-life games. I'm going to be pretty upset on that, man. I really am. But I don't know. I think I'm going to put that to bed. I'm going to put a bow on that, Caleb. I don't know what else I can say. Hey, it's going to be fun. I'm excited. Real baseball that counts is right around the corner. Hey, man, you were really popular this weekend. You were wearing that kilt, that type of thing. I got a text coming in, and you please, if it's inappropriate, don't answer inappropriately. But I got a text coming in saying, hey, I saw Caleb on Saturday wearing a kilt. Does he wear underwear underneath that thing? I am not traditional in my kilt wearing per request from my wife.
Which means you're wearing like 4 articles of You're wearing 4 pair of boxer shorts.
I had underwear. I had not done 4. I had 1 pair of underwear to honor my wife, because she knows that if I get out and I drink a few beers,
oh dude, you're gonna
got under there.
You're gonna flash somebody. You're gonna pull the Braveheart. You're gonna pull the William Wallace, dude. You're gonna Braveheart it. You're gonna Braveheart up, man. I know you, Caleb.
You can't take my freedom.
I know you too damn well, man. Yeah, my freedom. I love it, man. Well, hey, we'll see what happens with the Mariners. It's just, man, they are awfully nice to do this for Ichiro. Awfully nice, Caleb.
I love it. I actually like it. But I see your point too, Johnny. I love the respect they're giving him. I think he's done a lot for their organization too.
He has.
Across the other pond, you could say. And I just think it's good for baseball.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. Are you setting your alarm for 2:30 a.m. Wednesday morning to watch Mariners A's?
I stay up all night, so I'll probably just click on it. And watch it.
Yeah, you're not even going to go to bed. Yeah. I might do that too. That's probably a better.
Take a nap.
Yeah, take a nap
after work.
Because
eat dinner, take a nap, get up, watch the game, stay up.
Yeah, because Caleb, when I wake up, like if I wake up at 2:30 and turn the TV on, I'll be asleep in 10 minutes, dude. I'll be back asleep. I can't stay up. I have a better chance of just staying up that late. Anyway,
Yeah, stay up, drink a few beers, watch the baseball, have some popcorn.
Exactly, man. Watch my Mariners. Love it. I love it. Good stuff, man. Farmers Insurance Hotline. That's Caleb, everybody. Greg Blackman, our local Farmers Insurance agent. That's 1430 Washington Avenue. Great baseball player, talking baseball. Greg Blackman won 3 NAIA World Series championships pitching for LCSC, the same school his son GT pitches for right now. You need insurance, any type of insurance. You go see Greg on Washington Avenue, our Farmers Insurance Hotline. Scott Garson around the corner, assistant basketball coach for Santa Clara University. They're in Gonzaga's league. He faced Gonzaga twice this year. We got a lot to talk about with Scott Garson. We'll be back.
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In LeGrand tonight, mostly clear skies with a low near 27 degrees. For tomorrow, plenty of sunshine and breezy conditions with a high near 57. In Baker City tonight, mostly clear conditions too, low of 31 degrees. And for tomorrow, sunny and breezy conditions with a high near 57. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grand Ronde Hospital. As a not-for-profit organization, we provide medical care to everyone, regardless of insurance or financial status.
Grand Ronde Hospital.
Hello, this is Jan.
Hi, can I save on a new Toyota?
Yes, with great deals now through April 1st, you can ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
I can't wait to get out. I've been watching way too much TV.
Oh yeah? What's on?
Game show. Anyway, I got this list of things I want to do this spring.
Bet I could name them.
Really? Our contestant Jan here is risking it all on this final question. Name the 3 things I can't wait to do.
Go camping in a RAV4.
Correct.
Road trip in a Camry.
Yes.
How about take a Tundra fishing?
Ooh, 1 strike left, Jan.
I'll say off-roading in a Tacoma.
Show me off-roading in a Tacoma.
Oh, I can't believe it. Hi, Mom.
Toyota, let's go places.
Wherever your spring adventures take you, go there in a new Toyota. Get great limited time savings at your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Self-Service Furniture Warehouse and Courtesy Home Furnishings are your complete home furniture stores. Stop into one of their beautiful showrooms and find a never-ending selection plus superior service and unmatched value. They've made it easy to get the finest quality furniture for your home. When you want a look that's perfect, when you want the traditional look of beauty, look to Self-Service Furniture Warehouse and Courtesy Home Furnishings. They have a full selection of living room sets, bedroom sets, and dining room sets. Just about anything you could need to make any room of your home look and feel beautiful. Self-Service Furniture Warehouse and Courtesy Home Furnishings have the style that fits any home, any room, anytime. From the bedroom to the living room. Free delivery and 12-month interest-free financing available for purchases of $299 or more on approved credit. Come see what you've been missing. Self-Service Furniture Warehouse, east end of Adams in LeGrand, and Courtesy Home Furnishings, 2170 Main in Baker City.
It's time now for a community calendar update. Every Monday through Friday, the Community Connection Senior Dining Center in Baker City serves up lunch at 11:30 a.m. There is a suggested donation of $4.50 for persons 60 and over and a cost of $6.25 for persons under 60. Stop by Community Connection of Baker County, located at 2810 Cedar Street in Baker City, to take a look at the menu and see what else is offered. Grand Ronde Radio Amateurs Association is inviting everyone to attend their monthly business meeting every 4th Tuesday of the month. The meeting is held at the LeGrand Fire Station classroom starting at 6 p.m. If you've ever been interested in ham radio or are curious about it, this is a great meeting to attend to ask questions about the hobby and the service. For more information, contact Tyson at 541-910-2784 or visit online w7gra.org. This community calendar update is brought to you by LeGrand Gold and Silver, family-owned and managed, and your trusted local experts for fine jewelry and precious metals. Shop LeGrand Gold and Silver's full line of quality jewelry, gifts, and coins. The current Northeast Oregon road conditions are as follows. On I-84, there are no road closures to report at this time. Clear roads are being reported in the Meacham and Cabbage Hill area, as well as the Ladd Canyon and Baker City areas, too. There is a minimum chain restriction in effect, though. You are required to carry chains or traction tires regardless of current conditions. For more road condition updates, stay tuned throughout the day or visit tripcheck.com.
More than 7.7 million American teenagers participate in high school sports every year, including about 101,000 here in Oregon. They're all learning essential life lessons, like the importance of hard work, time management, and self-discipline, skills that are helping them become better leaders and more active, responsible citizens. This message presented by the Oregon School Activities Association and the Oregon Athletic Directors Association.
Fire took place 3 years ago. There was a lightning strike. The winds picked up and the fire just took off. You're in shock. You don't know what you're feeling. You have nothing. I lost my home and 40 years worth of art. I never thought that I would need help from the Red Cross. They gave me emotional support to get up in the morning. I'll never forget what the Red Cross did for me.
Contact your local Red Cross chapter or visit redcross.org.
All right, welcome back. Johnny Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers Pub and Grill, your home for March Madness. All the games at Benchies, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the best sports weekend of the year. Early Thursday morning to late Sunday night. Nothing beats the madness. We're going to head on over to the Farmers Insurance Hotline. Our next guest is more familiar with the NCAA tournament, really, than just about anybody I bring on this show. A veteran of several tournaments on Rick Majerus' staff at the University of Utah, and a veteran of 3 Final Fours, but another handful of tournament appearances on Ben Howland's staff at UCLA. He went to a Fab Four with the NAIA College of Idaho Yotes last season. Now he's back in D1 on the bench of Herb Sendek at Santa Clara University. They're in the Zags League, tough league there, West Coast Conference. He's Scott Garson, good friend of this show, and man, I'm pumped to have him back. Scotty G, welcome to the Johnny Ballgame Show, and here we are, March Madness. I know it's rare for you. You're done coaching this time of year, but I know you love this time of year, right, Coach?
It's a great time of year, Johnny, and thanks for having me on. It's great to talk to you, and really, really good to be on air with you, and it's yeah, it's the best time of the year, especially if you're a basketball fan of any sort or just a sports fan. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this time of year.
Coach, you know how special Selection Sunday is. Now, you've been situations where maybe at Utah you didn't know what line you were going to get in, type of thing. You were on the edge of your Selection Sunday seat, and then you've been on the opposite side of things with UCLA when you knew you guys were going to get a 1. You knew you were going to be out west. You were probably just trying to find out what other teams would be in your region. Talk to me about your experience on Selection Sunday as a coach.
Yeah, you know, it's obviously it's always a much better feeling when you're sitting there knowing you're in and just wondering who you're going to play. You know, there's always a lot of nervousness. I know, you know, Randy Bennett expressed that this year after they won the West Coast Conference tournament, and he's a friend and I consider him a mentor. And I mean, he was just thrilled to know that their team was in the tournament, where last year they were sitting here at this time of the year with 28 wins. They went on to win 30 games when you include their NIT wins, and they didn't get in. And they were ranked in the top 25 for much of the year. And so, you know, there's sometimes, you know, as a coach, you sit there and you just don't know. There's no rhyme or reason necessarily as to why sometimes you get in or don't get in when you're on the bubble, because there's no exact formula. They've never given the coaches a specific criteria as to what exactly you need to do to get in. You know you need to win games, of course. You know you need to, you know, beat or play good teams, but then at the same time, you know, Belmont, who had a tremendous year this year, take nothing away from them. They won a lot of games, but they did not have a strong strength of schedule at all. In fact, their best win by far was on the road at UCLA, who was not any good this year.
Yeah.
So, you know, and they're in the tournament. So, I don't know. what the right criteria is. I just know that it's an anxious feeling, and you have almost a pit in your stomach on Selection Sunday when you don't know you're in. And it's just such a relief when you find out you are. That's for sure.
Scott Garson.
Certainly a lot of anxiety at this time of year for coaches.
Love having this guy, Scott Garson, assistant men's basketball coach at Santa Clara, hanging out with us. Now, you were fortunate. You had 16 some odd players that you recruited and coached at UCLA who went into the NBA, many of them all-stars, a few of them future Hall of Famers. So I think you know as well as anybody how, what the keys to advancing in this tournament are. You had 3 different Final Four runs in a row, and each one was a little different. You had a little different path each way. When you look back and you would say, if a coach was to call you and say the keys to advancing outside of you being able to say, well, just get as many NBA players as you can and you probably got a pretty good shot. Outside of that, Coach Garson, from an X's and O's standpoint, a Rick Majerus X's and O's standpoint, what are the keys in your opinion to advancing into this tournament?
Well, I think first and foremost, you've got to concentrate on the game in front of you. I mean, you got to do a great job game planning for that Thursday game or that Friday game. You cannot worry, no matter what your seeding is and no matter who you're playing. You cannot get caught up and worry about your Saturday or Sunday game at all. And so much of it, and I know it sounds cliche, but it really does come down to your guard play. But not just how your guards play, but doing a good job taking away their guard play. And, I think one thing that, Coach Majerus, in his career was well known for the fact that if he had time to prepare, you weren't going to beat him. And Ben Howland was very similar that way. And a lot of that was being able to take away what the other team does best. And, when you do that, you make them go to something else. I mean, now all of a sudden, their main go-to stuff is gone and taken away from them, and they have to look to a secondary or a third option to score, or a secondary or third option to be able to get the ball to a guy that they want to get the ball to. And, so you've got to do a great job with the other team's guard play, take them out of things that they want to do. Coach Majerus one year, obviously, the year in 1998 when they went to the Final Four in the national championship game, pulled out a triangle and 2 against Arizona, who was the defending national champion and the number 1 team in the country, and took their 2 best guards out of it and made the other players beat them from the perimeter, and they couldn't do it. You can do things like that. And that can really mess with teams. But, like I said, you got to concentrate just on the game in front of you, have your team's total focus in that area. You must rebound the basketball. If you don't rebound the basketball, you're going to be in trouble, and you must take care of the basketball in terms of turnovers. I mean, every one of these possessions becomes so much more vital, and that's why the guard play is so important. Now it's no different than when you go to the Major League Baseball playoffs, and every pitch seems to have so much more importance to it than it does during the regular season over that time. It's the same way in the NCAA tournament. Every time you take a bad shot, it's like a turnover. Every time you turn the ball over, it's one more shot that you don't get to take. And that's a problem. Every time you give up an offensive rebound, I mean, it feels like you've just given up a 10-point run. So those aspects of the game are just so important, and they become much more under a microscope at this time of the year. And, you saw last year what guard play can do with Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo had 2 great guards in the backcourt, and they weren't necessarily the biggest team. They weren't necessarily the best team, but they had 2 great guards that Nate Oates was able to put the ball in their hands, and those guys could make plays because teams are taking you out of what you're going to do, and so you have to have guards that can just make plays.
I love how you referenced that 98 Majerus run because, I saw Rick Majerus take Andre Miller and Michael Doliak and beat that Arizona team loaded with NBA lottery picks. And you said it was a triangle and 2. That's what he did on them. And it's beautiful. Just beautiful game plan. Scott Garson, a long time.
And that really messes with a coach when you haven't seen something like that.
Yeah.
And you've spent all year and you have certain things you go to, and now all of a sudden you've got to make adjustments in these 2-minute timeouts, and you don't even necessarily know what the heck they're doing right now. I mean, oh my gosh, and what are we doing? We've never dealt with this before. So, that's also where matchups really come into play, and that's not something you can control. That's something that is just thrown your way, by the NCAA tournament committee. I mean, all of a sudden you're matched up with a team that plays a different sort of zone or a press that you haven't seen, and now you've got to prepare for something that you're not used to preparing for and that your team's not used to preparing for. And those type of matchups also can give teams a real hard time.
Scott Garson, assistant coach, Santa Clara, hanging out with us here on the Farmers Insurance Hotline. I love Jay Billis. I love his analysis. He is all over the Liberty Flames as a 12-5 upset. Mississippi State, nice season, Ben Howland, but had this Liberty team. Don't know how Mississippi State's going to be able to handle them. That's Jay Billis's opinion. I'm guessing Scott Garson's will be a little different after spending 10 years with Ben Howland and knowing the coach he was. Hell, he had Northern Arizona going, Ben Howland did. If he wouldn't have left for Pitt, hell, he probably would have been in the tournament almost every year at that school too. You tell me now. I mean, the 5-12, I'm thinking Mississippi State on this. I want your opinion. Coach Howland in the tournament, I mean, gosh, he usually, if anything, gets out of the first round, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at these upset matchups, you try to look for some sort of a and I hate to, I don't want to mean coaching mismatch, but maybe a discipline mismatch where one team's more disciplined than the other, even though the other may be higher ranked. That's not the case in this situation. I mean, I who knows what's going to happen? It's tournament time. Guys can throw in a crazy shot, but I don't agree with Jay on that one. I'm sure, he's got to pick some upsets. And,
yep.
All that's going to do, frankly, is motivate the Mississippi State team, who's coming right out here to San Jose, by the way. They're going to be playing about 6 minutes from where I live.
How sweet is that?
Excited to see Coach coming out here.
Heck yeah.
And, Ben Howland will have his team well prepared. And you talk about guard play, he's got really good guard play. Quindary Weatherspoon is as good as, and he's a senior too. He's as good a guard at making plays when things break down as anybody in the country. And he's got a tremendous freshman who has really come on and is on the all-freshman team now with the SEC, along with a number of other veteran players. The majority of Ben Howland's team are juniors and seniors, the majority of the guys that play.
I love it.
So this is not a young team. This is an older team. This is a group that's been together for several years now and been through the growing pains of building a program. So I do not look at that game. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know a lot about the Liberty team, but I do know that there's a reason that Mississippi State has been hanging around in the top 25 and has been battling night in and night out in the SEC. I can't even begin to tell you how good the SEC is. The SEC
Unreal.
Is really, really, really good. And so I look for Coach Allen and his Bulldogs to move on in the first round. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with Jay on that one.
Hey.
And I won't be the first person disagreeing with Jay Billis on a pick. So that's good.
I love it. Scott Garson, dude, I'm just looking at UCLA teams you and Coach Howland had. One, for example, you had 3 NBA players in the starting lineup, 4 NBA players in the starting lineup. Did ego come in there at all? You had all these McDonald's guys, all these guys who knew they were going to go to the pros, Coach. They knew they were coming for a pit stop at UCLA, some of them, and they're going to the NBA. Was it tough for you and the rest of that staff with Coach Howland to manage all those egos?
Well, I think that different places and different jobs bring different sets of adversity and different things that you need to work at. And I think UCLA, certainly, you're going to get great players there. Kids want to go to UCLA. You're going to have a chance to recruit really good players. But I do think that a big part of the message, and Coach Allen did a tremendous job at it, is the more that our team wins, the more that you'll receive your individual accolades. And you're going to get where you need to go, regardless of whether or not you score 18 points a game or 22 points a game or 14 points a game. If you're good enough, they're going to find you at UCLA.
Okay.
In fact, if you're at UCLA and you're not quite good enough, they're still going to take a look at you. And so I think that was always a message that in different ways Coach Allen was constantly sending to keep the team together at all times and focused on the team goal. And I mean, he did as good a job of that as anybody under those circumstances because it's not easy. Those kids have a lot of people in their ear. Right now, and John Calipari does a great job of it at Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, but in LA, it's really something because all the agents live right there, and they're really close to you. They're right on top of you, and so you have to really manage that and understand that there's a lot of people talking to these kids' parents and talking to them when you're not around, and just to keep them focused with their eye on the prize. And you know, for the most part, we'd have our hiccups here and there throughout the season, but for the most part, our guys really responded well to that, and you know, no players, very rarely do you come across players that don't want to win. Now, sometimes what happens is players that are really, really good feel like they can make their team win by doing more than they have to. And I think that that's a real fine line. And, you know, Phil Jackson is the all-time greatest at understanding that, especially in today's game. You know, getting Michael Jordan to understand that I know you can go out and score 50 points every night, but maybe don't go crazy in the first quarter and get your teammates involved because it's better for us in the fourth quarter to be able to win the game. And you know, that mantra, you know, is something that you have to utilize at any of the big time, you know, high level programs in college basketball, because you're going to deal with players with big egos that have been recruited at a very, very high level coming into your program, and the expectations are really high.
Coach, if Russell Westbrook were to call you, he picked up his 16th technical yesterday. He's going to now be suspended one game. The ridiculousness that went on in Utah with that idiotic fan. Heck, even that kid just getting up and touching Russell Westbrook during a game just seems like it's been kind of a peculiar year for your boy Russell Westbrook. If he were to call you and say, hey, Scott, tough year, Coach, what would you tell him?
Just keep trying to get triple doubles and making your team win. You're doing a hell of a job, Russ. That's what I would tell him. He is.
Yeah, okay.
Russell Westbrook is. I enjoy rooting for Oklahoma City. It's funny because, you know, I have people ask me when I'm talking about the NBA with friends or whatever, they ask me, you know, or somebody, who's your favorite team? And I always say, well, I grew up in LA, so I grew up a Laker fan, but I'm not really a Laker fan, and I'm not really a fan of any team because I root for the guys that I got to coach that are in the NBA.
Yep.
But if I had to pick one team that I root for, it's Oklahoma City. If there's ever an NBA team that I wear their T-shirt when I'm working out, it's my Oklahoma City Thunder T-shirt. And that's the God's honest truth, because I love the way Russell competes. He is old school. He's got that twisted, demented, competitive way about him that he just wants to win. And he is not accepting of any other mentality from any of his teammates. There's no surprise that Oklahoma City, in a year that the NBA scores have skyrocketed and teams are scoring an unbelievable amount of points, that they are suddenly the best defensive team in the conference or in the entire league.
Yeah.
And defense takes competitive spirit and it takes effort. You know, and you know, I would never argue that LeBron James isn't the best player in the NBA. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but this is not the first year, nor will it be the last, that LeBron James takes about half the season off on defense. This year, he just doesn't have a good enough team to get away with it. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't come to play in the playoffs, but Russell Westbrook doesn't understand that mentality.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand taking games off defensively to save your body. He's not into that. He's into playing hard every night. If Russell showed up right now in a pickup game in Caldwell, Idaho, against 5 other guys, and he was in a pickup game on an outdoor court, he would not know how to not play hard. His agent would have to drag him off the floor and say, you cannot do this. You're going to hurt yourself and ruin your next contract. And so, I mean, that's how Russell's built. So, you know, if that means that he gets a few more technical fouls, I guess that's the way the NBA is nowadays. I'm not a big proponent of technical fouls, but they all get them, every one of them, and that league's a different world. And so, you know, all I know is Oklahoma City's going to be one tough out in the NBA playoffs.
No question.
Between him and Paul George, I mean, that's about as good a duo as there is in the NBA right now.
Couple of quickies and we'll get you out of here, Scott Garson. Your first year at Santa Clara, obviously you went to a Fab Four last year at the NAIA level with College of Idaho. You wanted to get back to D1. You're on Herb Sendek's staff there at Santa Clara. So just your first year there, tell me about that a little bit, and then maybe transition a little bit into St. Mary's beating Gonzaga. Were you as surprised as the rest of the basketball world when that happened?
Well, I'll answer your second question first. Absolutely, we were very surprised when Gonzaga lost because of how good Gonzaga is, not because of St. Mary's. St. Mary's is really good, but how good Gonzaga is this year was the surprise. Now, I'm not a big believer of, you need to lose a game, but I'll be honest, that loss may help Gonzaga in the long run. I guess time will tell starting this weekend. Gonzaga is as good talent-wise as the teams that we had in a couple of our years at UCLA.
Damn.
They don't have a Kevin Love on their team, and I'm just talking about the college level Kevin Love, who was a first-team All-American and the Player of the Year in the Pac-12 or in the Pac-10 at the time as a freshman. I mean, he was that good and averaged a double-double as a freshman. They don't have that guy, but they're really good. They've got two for sure NBA players up front in Brandon Clark and Rui Hachimura. They've got a point guard who is a fifth-year senior and just runs the show in Josh Perkins. He's tremendous. They've got two guys in Norvell and Kispert on the wings that can shoot the lights out. And then they come in with guys. And, I mean, they are deep at every position. They got players and players at every position. They bring this kid Crandall in off the bench, who's a grad transfer, who is an absolutely tremendous defender. And, by the way, scored almost 20 points a game last year in Division I at his previous school. He's just in a role of only playing 15 to 20 minutes a game now.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of guys they're bringing in off the bench. They have more depth than any team in the country. They are as athletic or more athletic up front than any team in the country. They're one of the most athletic teams inside that I've seen in a number of years. And I think that Gonzaga has a great chance to not only get to the Final Four, but to win the national championship this year. I believe that their team top to bottom is better than it was 2 years ago. That doesn't mean they're going to win it, but I believe it's better than the team they had 2 years ago that lost in the national championship game. So that's a long answer to yes, we were surprised that St. Mary's was able to beat them.
I love it.
But when you beat a team by 48 points, and then a month earlier, and then a week and a half earlier, you beat them by 14 on their own on the road. I mean, maybe it's just sometime, and you've won every game since November. I mean, at some point, it's got to be hard for Mark Few to get his guys ready to play night in and night out in a game that, frankly, was meaningless. I mean, they were going to be a number one seed anyways.
Yep, they were going to get that same region, too. They would have put them out west as well. You're right. They would have given them that.
Yeah, nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
And I will take a second, if I got one, to tell you that about our team at Santa Clara, which I'm very proud of what we did this year.
Absolutely.
We finished with a winning record this year and fifth place in conference with the youngest team in conference. Our top 5 scorers and top 5 minutes guys were all freshmen and sophomores. So we've got a really bright future in front of us, as well as another player who would be one of our top 6 players that was sitting out this year, a transfer from Wake Forest. So we've got 6 of our 6 top guys all returning with experience this next year. And then, to add to that will be our recruiting class. And so we're really, really excited about the future here. And it takes a really good team to compete in this league. And we feel like we have a great chance to compete in the upper echelon of this league starting next year.
We miss you in these parts, but love the fact that you're on Coach Sendek's bench and whatnot. And we had some fun times at Quinn Coliseum this season, Coach. Your boy Colby Blaine came in here, got another win, and obviously what a great year he had at the College of Idaho. I know Talon Pinckney, the year he had, Defensive Player of the Year and all of NAIA, and you really did a good job leaving the program in a better place than when you inherited, Scott. I mean, you got a national powerhouse they do at the College of Idaho now, and you're a big part of that, man. So I'm sure you were looking at them from afar. And Isaac Williams, obviously, he's doing his struggles at Cal State Monterey Bay, but he's looking back on it. I just wanted to say, hey, we miss you in this area, and I know you're following that team, huh?
I miss you guys, too. I'm very, very proud of what's going on at the College of Idaho, what continues there. That, I felt great about building a program that was sustainable and could last. And felt, as hard as it was to leave, I felt really good leaving at the time we did because I knew that, number one, we had a good core of players coming back, that the program was left with a good nucleus, and there was a great leader in place to be able to take over and continue what we had been doing in Colby Blaine. And I couldn't be more excited or prouder of Coach Blaine and the job that he and his entire staff has done. Shelby Lindley and Michael Johnson as assistants, the whole group there is just tremendous, and they're going to be good again next year, and they're going to be good year in and year out. I really believe that. The program's set up well, and
yeah.
They'll continue to be a problem for the folks at Quinn Coliseum when they show up. I can guarantee you that.
I love it, man. Hey, you enjoy March Madness. I know you're probably recruiting, and that's a big thing of what you're doing, and we'll stay in touch, Coach. Always appreciate you coming on this time of year. Maybe we can get you on before the NBA playoffs or during the NBA playoffs and get your NBA opinion as well.
I would love that, Johnny. Anytime. It's always great to talk with you.
Thanks, Coach.
Talk to you soon.
Scott Garson, Santa Clara University assistant coach. I counted today. There are 16 players in the NBA right now that he recruited and coached while he was at UCLA. 16 of them. And now he's back at Santa Clara, went NAIA, now he's bouncing around. He's D1 and back at Santa Clara and in that tough West Coast Conference. Good stuff. I ran that a little late tonight. Your Ace Hardware finale. Remember, Ace is the helpful place. Thatcher's Ace Hardware in Baker City and Ace Hardware in LeGrand. Your go-to for everything. Mechanical tools, power tools, woodworking tools, plumbing, electrical, paint, you know it. You name it. Ace is the helpful place. Thatcher's Ace Hardware in Baker City and Ace Hardware in LeGrand. Your Ace Hardware finale. You got Blazers tonight, 7:30, hosting the Pacers, and the madness. It gets one step closer. We'll catch you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Johnny Ballgame Show. Sorry to get you to the Savage Nation a little late, but here we go. Johnny Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. That's all I got.
To tell you how bad liberals are and how great Trump is, I'm not doing it. You've heard it so much. It's ad nauseum, not ad infinitum. Ad nauseum, nauseum. They're sucking all the oxygen out of the brain of America. So I'll continue with my reverie. My 1960 Jaguar